What's going on, everybody? Welcome to our video debut of our third ever episode of the show. Back before we were Dissect That Film, we were the Parker Chronicles. It was a little thing that me and my brother wanted to do, and we finally got it off the ground. This episode is the longest episode of the show so far. We are talking about Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and we had three huge Godzilla nerds on the show. So, of course, a lot of just knowledge about Godzilla and everything that has to do with it. So that's why this episode is very long. So I hope you enjoy. It's raw, no editing. So anything goes. So I hope everybody enjoys and has a wonderful week. Bye. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Parker Chronicles podcast, where we talk and review movies of all kinds, where we ridicule them, we talk about the things we love about them, and we just have a great discussion. And today, we don't just have DNA Gaming back for the third week in a row, but we also have another guest, and he's below me. I got to look at the overlay. He's below me. We got Umbreon Untamed. Welcome in, sir. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Series without having me here, so I'm just happy to be here.
Well, I am happy to have you here, my man. DNA Gaming? Well, right now it's Aradella, but the other half of DNA Gaming will be here soon. How are you today?
Hey, good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Listen, of all the other streams that I do during the week, this is the one that I'm most excited for. I always look forward to today, because I love talking movies, and to be able to talk movies with, my friends and with chat.
Wait, hold on. I didn't sign up to be your friend. I just signed up.
You're blood,
so you have no choice.
So you're kind of attached.
I mean, you are a Steelers fan, so I have an objection there.
Who, me?
What?
All right, well, we're going to take a pause since we're at the beginning here. We got some people showing some love here in the chat. Thunder Ronan, thank you so much for the 4 biddies. And Spieth, thank you so much for the 25 biddies. Thank you for the love right here in the beginning, guys. Thank you. Before we get started on the topic at hand, which today is Godzilla, King of the Monsters, we are going to talk about a poll that that I did on Twitter because we only got 2 episodes left of the Monsterverse, which is this episode today, and then next week, which is Godzilla versus Kong. We're going to announce the next series that we are going to be reviewing after the Monsterverse. And that, of course, chat, is Jaws. We are going to be doing the Jaws series. Yes, chat, there is more than one movie. For anyone who does not know, there is more than one film. There's actually 4. I'm very excited. As somebody who loves Jaws, it gets me all giddy inside. And I can't wait to talk about the better films that take place later on. But today, Ronan, thank you so much for those 32 biddies. Appreciate all the love here in the beginning. Today, we are talking about Godzilla, King of the Monsters. And guess what? I was ill-prepared and forgot to pull up IMDb because I don't know the release date of this movie. I think it was
2019.
2019, yeah. See, chat, I was so prepared today. This is already starting off with a bang. Come on, pop it up. I got lots of info I need to pop. I got, this helps my memory here. Released May 31st, 2019. Directed by Michael Dougherty. He is most famous for, can anybody here in the chat, without looking it up, can anybody here in the chat tell me what 2 films he is most famous for before he directed this film? Did you raise your hand, Umbreon? I saw you. Let it rip.
It was Monsters, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that was No, I don't think.
No, that was Gareth Edwards.
No, it was Gareth Edwards.
Okay.
I know one of them. All
right.
I am over blanking.
Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat,
That's
which is an amazing, in my eyes, it is a great, I said amazing, which I should just stick to my word there. It's amazing. I love it. It's a cool Halloween anthology, kind of like, different stories that interconnect. I recommend it. Good Halloween movie. And he also directed Krampus, which is actually a good film starring Toni Collette. Oh God, what's his name from Parks and Rec? Adam Scott. But yeah, those two movies, highly recommend them for around Halloween time. But yes,
He also did Superman Returns as well.
no, that was Bryan Singer.
No. He was the writer.
Oh,
Superman
right.
Returns.
Okay, sorry. I thought you were talking about director. But yeah, he did write Superman Returns. Thank you for that, because we needed to be reminded of that movie. But yeah, this movie has so many people in it. This is another Kong Skull Island situation here. There's a lot of characters in this film, and there's even a part where I didn't realize that the same actress was playing this two different characters in different parts, which was weird because they were twins. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Listen, that's pretty normal in these movies because the last movie, the guy that plays, oh my God, I'm going to draw a blank. The soldier in the beginning plays the son at the end. So
yeah. Well, we talked about Marlowe.
That's it. Yeah. Wow.
But this movie has Kyle Chandler, which he's been in a bunch of stuff. Funny thing is, Kyle Chandler actually was in King Kong 2005, which is pretty cool how it kind of connects. And of course, he'll be reunited with a different Kong in the next film. We have Vera Farminga, who is just amazing in everything she does. If you haven't seen Bates Motel, watch it. She's fantastic in that, and she's great in the Conjuring movies and pretty much everything she's in. Millie Bobby Brown coming off of Stranger Things. Ken Watanabe coming back as Dr. Serizawa. And Sally Hawkins coming back as Dr. Vivian Graham. We have Charles Dance from Game of Thrones and a bunch of other movies. I mean, there's literally, this list goes on and on.
So it really is a star-studded cast. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in this movie. All right, so we do every week, let's go around and talk about what we think or what we thought of this movie. And we're gonna start with our new guest here, Umbreon. Hit me.
So, being a lifelong Godzilla fan, I'm always going to say, the movie's good. The movie was not bad whatsoever. It definitely blows the 2014 Godzilla out of the water. I think we can all agree that as a consensus. Movie was a little long at parts. The beginning felt a little bit long in the tooth, kind of. It took a while to develop and really draw everything out. But we finally got what we were missing out of the 2014 movie. We finally got a lot more monster fights. It was a better acting job than the first go around. But the movie is not without flaws, which, of course, we will delve deeper into those. But so far, I will say that, in my opinion, I think it was the best movie of the series, but that's also up to everybody's interpretation.
All right. DNA Gaming. Dan, it's good to see you, man.
I'm here. Go ahead.
I'm here.
I had to take care of some stuff on the back end. Don't mind.
You're good. You're good.
Your turn.
Oh, no. I wrote down Godzilla King of the Monsters, a.k.a. what Godzilla 2014 should have been.
Or something like it.
Or, no.
Well, no,
it definitely...
Ghidorah, like, it right out of the gate. Just keep like, Ghidorah.
No, I'm talking about acting. I'm talking about cinematography. It was all amazing. So, and
she's got the right shirt on.
So you should know how I feel about this.
Mega Man is awesome, and it's actually. I mean, it's also nice to see that you're not dying this week.
Oh, I'm totally not dying. Actually, and by the way, I always have Mega Man on me because I have one printed on my body forever. But anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, as for my standpoint for this movie is, again, like Umbreon being a Godzilla fan since the beginning of time, my perceivable time, I love the amount of callbacks, nods, references, all that to classic films, everything, characters, all that stuff. I love that in this movie. Pacing was a little spotty at times, but for the most part, I was fine. It was serviceable. It wasn't distracting too much. The fights were way better, and the guy who did the music for this thing in the movie, I want to say it was Bear McCready, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Could have done all the Monsterverse music, hands down.
He did the soundtrack for God of War, which is my favorite game he's a fantastic composer.
I'm just glad that he referenced Akira Ifukube, who was the composer for a lot of the Showa Godzilla films, and that is what was a big thing for me as awesome. A fan. But
Nemesis?
All right, so this is going to sound weird, but the biggest thing I got from this movie that was my favorite was Mothra. And I'm going to say that because it was kind of like that unsung hero. There were so many titans and so many things going on, but it was like Mothra was that. It was not saying it wasn't a big part of the movie, but it was like that unsung hero that wasn't the big, Ghidorah or Rodin or anything like that. But I just like how they interpreted Mothra in that movie. I thought it was pretty awesome.
I love this movie. I mean, I'm a sucker for just. I mean, it's a bunch of titans just fighting each other, and it's great. Listen, we've talked about this the last couple of weeks. The stories, the human element of these films are not going to be. I feel like they're never going to be super strong. They're never going to be able to hold up to what's going on with the Titans. I think they tried a lot harder in this movie than they did in the 2014 Godzilla. But I think the thing we talked about with like Kong was that there was so many characters, and with Kong, where it was kind of like we kind of loved everybody who was in that. Like there was a lot of characters, but we all we liked at least most of the characters that were there. We all had somewhat of a relationship with them. Where I feel like there was just way too many characters in this film, like just so many, like especially military. They could have cut a bunch of those guys out. I think they kept like O'Shea Jackson, aka Ice Cube's son. They kept him in the movie too long. There was like 3 times he should have died, and he just kept surviving. It's like, we can't kill him.
But however, he was a genuine good breath of fresh air and good side comic relief next to Dr. Rick Stanton.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
Vera Farminga, like I was talking about when we were listening to cast off, she always goes ham in every movie she does. It doesn't matter how much listen, you're gonna be a bad guy, but you think you're doing good things. She's like, I got this. Like, she is great. Her character is probably a little overdone, but it's with how good she is. I just didn't care. I think Alan Jonah was. I feel like there's so many movies out there where it's like these a big monster, and then we have some sort of secret organization coming in and trying to take things over, and it's just kind of like that plot point for me was very generic, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. We got all of the Titans. We got Rodan, we got King Ghidorah, we got Godzilla, we got Mothra, we got other Titans that you only see in like movie clips, but they're still super cool. We even see the creatures, the Muto. It's definitely a new one, but we see a similar species at the end of the movie, which I thought was a cool callback. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. More for the Titans.
Someone's not a fan of Mothra. They don't like that I brought up.
You don't like Mothra?
Never have.
Oh. No, she's only had a few memorable good appearances, in my opinion. She does the same thing in every movie. She shows up and dies. That's what she does.
Her kids are better than she is.
She dies and respawns. She's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yep.
She's a video game character.
Spawn Point personified.
But yeah, overall, this film was a lot of fun. I think for me, I watch these films and I don't take them super serious. I'm not like, the story is definitely not, super compelling, but it makes sense to the situation. The whole, we're saving the world, yet these things are destroying it. Oh, but we're all going to die anyways, so who cares? Like, okay, crazy lady.
Some interesting motivation
with your weird, yeah. All right, let's get going on the plot. So it all starts with a throwback to the end of Godzilla 2014, but we see Kyle Chandler calling out Andrew, which you find out is his and Vera Farminga's son, right?
This is the first. Am I missing out? This is the first clip. This is the first scene, right?
No,
you're good.
You're good.
She had it
Okay.
Yeah.
My note says Andrew.
I see Dan shaking his head. I'm like, am I already off?
No. I'm sorry. You're good. I apologize.
It's like, wait, we just got here. What?
Before I continue, this movie did not do well in theaters. It actually somewhat bombed in theaters, but they already had two other films. They already had this universe. They're like, we can't. Who cares? We're gonna make Godzilla versus Kong. This was already in the works. But in normality, this movie probably would have just. Yeah, go ahead.
I was like, can I make a small complaint about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
What pissed me off about the reason why critics said that it flopped. They complained about the first movie because they said it was too much human, not enough monster. Then we get to this movie, and they complained that too much monster, not enough focus on the human characters.
Yep.
What?
Cannot appease the
What do you
critics.
want?
It's the same thing with Transformers.
We're in 2021.
But Transformers was a bad series, though.
But if you focus more on the Transformers instead of the humans, it probably would have been better films. Oh, and don't have Michael Bay be your director. But we'll get to that series.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's go back to the plot. So we see Kyle Chandler's character, which refresh me on their names because Dr. Mark Russell, but you don't figure that out until later. But we see Kyle Chandler's character, Mark Russell, and his at the time wife, Emma Russell, holding young Millie Bobby Brown, but it's not her, of course. As Godzilla is tearing through where was it? San Francisco. And they're trying to find their son, who of course, you figure out dies in the wreckage of the fight between Godzilla and the Mutos. And then it does this really cool fade between her at that time to her in the current timeline, and she's just reminiscing about that. And then we see we meet Millie Bobby Brown's character, which is Madison Russell. She's cooking some breakfast and burns it. Okay. Pay attention, all right? Don't burn bacon, all right? You're wasting good bacon.
It's true.
It.
You can smell when it's burning. Just
give me season 4 of Stranger Things now. You burnt the bacon. But she's trying to make her mom breakfast or make them breakfast, and it's a cool little back and forth, and they're just, what were they talking? What do they end up talking about? Are they talking about her dad?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because her dad is sending her an email, and her mother doesn't want her talking because she doesn't want her to get hurt again, getting close and attached to her dad. Gotcha. So when she comes in, she shuts down the computer, and her mother was suspicious.
Right. And he's off studying wolf-related activities somewhere out in the Midwest. But then it's cool because this house is really cool. But then they hear something. The alarm. An alarm goes off outside, and you look out, and they're in the jungle, and they're at a monarch outpost. They go down into the outpost, and there is a cocoon. They go into this room, and there's literally a cocoon in this giant room. And then it starts, right? She doesn't hatch yet, right?
Not right away.
No, not right away.
Yeah. And then, she's talking to the scientists. Another character from Stranger Things, if you watch Stranger Things, the doctor that she talks to is the teacher from, all their teacher from Stranger Things. I can't remember his character's name in that, but I like him. He's cool. Unfortunately, he doesn't last very long in this. So yeah, we get to the big room where the cocoon is, which if anyone who knows Mothra, this is what it is who it's going to be. The cocoon hatches. And of course, soldiers being soldiers, we got our guns. We got to point it at this big giant monster that we've been studying. Oh my God. So I swear to God, they make a lot of soldiers in movies are just dumb. They just they make them the brainless. Oh God, it's just awful. Go ahead.
However, for those to be stun guns, I don't know where they're getting those, but if I can get that type of stun gun, I'd be content.
So yeah, it hatches. It gets startled by the soldiers, starts spitting like silk or whatever the material is at them, pinning them up against the wall and all that. So Emma Russell, she has this cool device. It's called the Orca, which she can literally tune in signals to be able to communicate. Well, not was it like what is the main purpose of this thing? Is it to communicate with them, or is it to kind of like chill them out
with killer whales? Wasn't that initially what it was?
It was originally they made it as a grad school project to push the whales away from the shoreline, but they're using it for the Titans as a bioacoustic accoutrement, as an alpha voice to either get their attention, calm them in, or anything of that sort. Which I'll let you continue, but come back to me. I've got a cool fact about this scene with the Orca.
Okay. So yeah, she has this device, and she's like, I can calm her down. She goes out there. She's trying to figure it out. Mothra's going crazy. You know, Madison gets scared. She pretty much steals the key card off of the doctor, breaks into the area, and pretty much it's one of those moments like in a lot of movies where it's like, just as something's about to happen, she finally gets the signal. And I love the color change that Mothra has. Like when she's aggressive, she's one color, and then when she calms down, she turns blue. She's got like that blue hue, and I love it. So cool. And then of course the military, this secret military thing, whatever the hell they're called. What are they called?
They don't have a name.
They don't have a name? Oh, of course.
Not in the film. They're bioterrorists. Eco-terrorists.
Yeah. So they come in guns blazing, they mow down all the scientists. And this group is led by Alan Jonah, a former special forces guy who pretty much wants Dr. Russell and her and the Orca to do, bad things with it. And then he shoots at the guy that we were talking about before. Like I said, he didn't last very long. And Mothra goes crazy again, right? And then she ends up she escapes, right?
Yeah.
And
it's implied that it's shown on footage on screen.
Right, yeah. And then you see her later on, which I thought was pretty cool. He takes them, and then we go to a courtroom, correct? With Dr. Serizawa and Dr. Graham, and our new character, because we needed more, Sam Coleman, played by Thomas Middleditch. He's
Verizon guy.
Yes, the Verizon guy.
I just remembered that.
He actually had an audio cameo in Kong Skull Island. He was one of the voiceover on the radios. He actually did the voice acting for the radios when he was contacting with the other part of the military.
Oh, good to know.
Very interesting. Cool. Jerry.
What is he? Is he a lawyer? Like, is he like their lawyer? Or like
no,
lawyer for the company.
He is head of the electronics or tech. He's like their lead tech.
Okay, and he is pretty much. He's defending Monarch's, what Monarch is doing pretty much. And of course the main judge is CCH Pounder, who is she's amazing in everything she's in too. Unfortunately she's only in this for about 10 seconds. As they're going to doing a back and forth as Dr. Serizawa is pretty much saying, listen, these are, they had this earth was theirs before it was ours. So they're just trying to take it back. So they're not bad. They're just, doing what they naturally should be doing. And you got what's the guy from the first one sitting over in the defendant seat, the guy who like the head of the military there.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, Admiral
Stanton or something like that.
Yeah, I think
Admiral Stentz. Doesn't say a word the whole time. Dr. Serizawa gets or Dr. Graham gets a message about what happens. I'm taking it. They leave, and the best thing is the Sam, he puts up the video of the two Mutos like doing it. He's like, here, watch the thought that was pretty funny. And then they fly to see Dr. Mark Russell, Kyle Chandler. He is doing research on wolves, and I believe it's probably like the communication between wolves and the pack and all that stuff.
It was alpha pack study,
right? Yeah, and they come in and they pretty much are explaining to him what happened. That his ex-wife and daughter find out they're not married anymore. They split up shortly after Andrew died, and yeah, so he they're explaining to Dr. Russell that like his ex-wife and his daughter are taken by this Alan Jonah. They don't really know exactly. I mean, they explain to him about the orca, and he's all confused because of the way that they had built it. Because him and his ex-wife, they had built this thing in college, right? Originally, as to talk to marine life in the oceans, like to be able to communicate with them. And he didn't realize that she had enhanced it to be able to now talk to these titans. And so he joins the big adventure, and I believe then it pretty much takes them to everybody else in the group, like the whole military outfit there, led by, I don't know her name.
I know what her name is. She's
love the subtlety.
She's Hen from 911, but I don't remember what her name is.
Oh, I don't watch that show, so
I love it.
It's okay.
Colonel Diane Foster. I think that's her name.
Yeah, she's Aisha
Looking
Hines.
at IMDb right now.
Wait, hold on. I don't think I have the same character.
Yeah, the bald.
Okoye from Black Panther.
That was not Okoye.
Yeah.
Is it really?
She was in Black.
Yeah,
she was in Black Panther too.
Oh boy, so far behind here. I gotta look this up. I don't believe you guys.
That's Okoye from Black Panther.
Okoye from Black Panther is the girl. Is the one who plays. She's in The Walking Dead. It's not the same. It's not the same one.
No, that's not Michonne. I promise you.
The one. All right. Side note, chat. We'll take a small break as I try to figure this out because I don't believe them. Because I'm looking at her IMDb right now, and there is no Black Panther on her IMDb, so you're wrong.
She's on Blue's Clues.
Aisha Hines is not in Black Panther.
Not.
Black.
I don't know. I'm letting you guys fight it out.
Black Panther.
I know she's.
Okay, it looks like I got that wrong. I've had it in my head for.
Guerrera. Walking Dead as Michonne. I don't even watch that damn show, but dab on you. No, just kidding.
Parker.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, right, no. Hey, I will eat that. I will happily
eat it.
Can I note something at this point in the film?
Yes, please speak up.
To get used to how Kyle Chandler's character looks this entire movie because he's pissed off for the whole movie, the whole time.
Man.
So he just looks like Coach Taylor.
All the time.
Never. Yeah, I don't. He never smiles.
Almost never. Never.
Yeah. So
I mean, if these.
Oh, go ahead.
If these Titans existed, how happy would you truly be?
Especially if you lose a loved one.
That's true. But like all the time.
But he doesn't even laugh when all the quirky things get said by what's his face.
Oh my God, Bradley Whitford.
Whitford.
He is amazing, and I've listened to a few podcasts talking about this movie, and there's a lot of people who can't stand his character, and I was like, why?
I love him.
He's the comic relief. All right, there's always got to be in this, and when you have this big of a cast, and you have all these people, you got to have that comic relief, and he's hilarious.
Oh, is that Dr. Stanton?
Yes.
Okay, and who Michael Dougherty based on Dr. Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty.
Oh God, so good.
Rick and Morty is such a show.
It's spot on.
Coming from him being such a serious character in The Handmaid's Tale to
That's my favorite show.
It shows you the scope of what he is capable of as an actor.
He's so good. He fun fact, he was actually the bad guy in Billy Madison.
Was
Not
he?
even kidding. He was the dick from who worked for his father's company.
I was
Holy
like,
shit.
No.
Who was
I
like
know
trying to
you're
make
about-
sure that Billy didn't graduate. You know,
I'll have to go back and watch that
Yeah,
movie
no,
again.
I'm not kidding. He's in Billy. He's the douchebag from Billy Madison.
Noted.
Yes, he is fantastic. Fun side note: Handmaid's Tale returns season 4 this week.
Yes.
So
I'm
excited.
You
excited.
can't watch it. You can't watch it.
The 28th.
No, you can't watch it. You'll be
Is
too
it-
busy.
Is it worth watching? I've not gotten into it.
It's one of those shows where it's such a it's scary because there's a possibility that something like this could happen in our country, especially with the person who was our president before. It was it was one of those things that was kind of like it was a book written, I think, in the 80s. But oh man, it's so messed up. But
I'm not gonna lie.
It keeps
I
you
have the book. I
enthralled
forget.
for the whole thing. There's a second book too.
I'm not
Yes.
gonna lie. I thought you were gonna tell me that he was played the Penguin in Billy Madison. I was like,
What's a penguin doing out here just walking around?
Oh man, good old Adam Sandler. So yeah, back to the plot. Where were we? Oh yeah, so we meet we go to the ship. We meet all of these new characters, and there's a lot of them. Like we said, we talked about Dr. Rick Stanton. We have Colonel Diane Foster, who is Aisha Hines. We have O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s character, who is Officer Barnes. If you don't remember all these names, it's okay. I didn't either. I'm literally reading it off of IMDb because I don't remember all their names. I just remember as head soldier lady, soldier guy, and other like when it comes to military, I think the difference between the military characters in this movie compared to like the military characters of Kong Skull Island is you grow more of an attachment to the ones from Kong Skull Island because of the situation they're in. As much as I think all of the actors who play these soldiers are great. It just, they all kind of blur together for me when it comes to like names and everything. You're like, who did what? Okay.
Also, the problem is that TV shows and movies are way too easily accessible now. So I watch 3 or 4 in a row and I forget all the names because I start intertwining them. I'm like, this person.
Oh yeah, and there's more. So yeah, you get to meet all these characters. You guys are gonna have to help me. What goes on after this? Is this where they're in the boardroom and they're talking? They're talking about talking about Alan Jonah and what they think his intentions are.
I think that's where we're at, and I think this is where Kyle Chandler's character has that whole moment of, oh, if you want to take care of this problem, kill the monster, kill the Titans. You don't have to use the Orca. If they're gone, you have no purpose and it's useless. Right. Yeah. This is his whole, like, he is still very gung ho against the Titans in this part.
Yeah, and then you get I think it was a comment from O'Shea Jackson. He turns to somebody who's like, "Is he always this intense?" or something like that.
Yeah. I think it was the dude hates Titans line.
Oh yeah. And then do we bounce back to Alan Jonah and everybody of that group?
If I remember correctly, I think this is getting ready to set up for the next.
Cut back to Antarctica.
Yeah, that's where they go to Antarctica because all that's got to happen before.
Well, they don't go there. They don't go there yet.
No. Jonah's crew.
Yeah.
Jonah's crew goes there.
Jonah and the boys.
Yeah, they're planning explosives along this giant wall of ice, which then you get the silhouette of King Ghidorah.
No, it's Monster Zero at this point. Okay.
Yes.
That's right. They don't call it Ghidorah yet. It is Monster Zero.
Which is a good nod to his original name in the 1965 Godzilla Invasion of Monster Zero.
Yep.
So yeah, we get to see the silhouette of Monster Zero, and they have a conversation. I don't remember what they were talking about. do they have a conversation, Alan Jonah and Dr. Emma Russell? Do they have a conversation with each other about like what their intentions are?
I think so, yeah.
Where it's like he's making sure she doesn't have any doubts about what they're trying to do, and that she was pretty much like it was all a plan to begin with. Like she had already agreed to be a part of this before.
I think Madison at this point was having like self doubts, like like what's fully going on,
right?
And then Charles Dance's character was getting into Vera Farmiga's head and be like, this was the talked about plan. Like this has to go.
We got to do it this way. And then the other group finds out that, or we don't see Godzilla yet, right?
Yes. Is it before? Because I think it's got to be like here in this point because they were still at which to cut back to the first scene. So the outpost that they were at when the military, that entire group, they were at Castle Bravo, which is a good callback to the Bikini Atoll nuclear test sites because that was the Castle Bravo nuclear plan. So it's a nice little neat.
I love nods. I love when they do that stuff.
And that's when Godzilla runs up on him real quick and does the intimidation display.
I thought he does that while Jonah's group's there because he knows something's up in Antarctica.
I think it's like in this middle part of in between there at Antarctica, and then Godzilla runs up like hey, there's fuckery afoot. What's going on?
Yep.
So good. And so then, oh, that's right, yeah, because they're in the ship and they're like open up the door there, the screen, so they could see it, and you just see the like him pulsing, like it's like the blue kind of like from far away, and then he gets closer, and then
which has another good line from the movie from when Kyle Chandler goes, open up the hatch, and Darkstand was like, yeah, open up the hatch and invite him from a beer. What else could go wrong?
I just
thought it was great.
Great. I love his.
Yeah, he's so good. He's so good.
There's a subtle reference in these scenes, by the way. I'm just gonna throw it out there. When they're when the Godzilla's coming up on him, they're like, man the cannons, like fire at him, whatever, get ready to fire him. They start prepping the cans like O'Shea's character and that other dude jump on the main cans. If you look on the screen when they power them on, it actually says Maser cannons, which is a reference to Maser tanks and Maser cannons from the classic Godzilla universe. But that's all I got.
Man, the nods, just love it. Love all.
I love how you go. That's all I got. Like that's I didn't know. That's cool stuff.
Something I mean,
this movie is littered with a lot of throwbacks to the Toho series.
I mean, when you have so much history, I feel like it makes sense. Like it's good to have that. I like that they throw those things in there.
Well, that's the thing. I don't. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
It's great having this is the first week with Umbreon, but I don't know much about the old series of like Godzilla and all that. So knowing these facts is actually really cool because I do want to eventually go back and watch these now because I never was. I'll be honest, I was never interested in going like watching that. But now that I hear stuff from you guys, it makes me actually kind of interested to check this stuff out. So
that's why one of my favorite parts was when they're giving him codename Monster Zero. Just because that was there, he originally debuted in the 1964 movie, but 1965 was Invasion of the Asher Monster, and he was a alien. He was brought by an alien race called the Zillions, and he was named Monster Zero in that movie. So it's a real cool, just like, hey, I get that reference. Like there's so many of those references just strewn about throughout the movie.
I mean, in this movie, though, do they explain why they call him Monster Zero?
No, because that's just a designated case name, and at this point, you really cannot mention the Zillions because there's no literal tie-in whatsoever, and it would fuck the coop.
They may call him Zero because they mention that he's, of course, this is a spoiler later in the movie, where they talk about him being off the record, so they may list him in canon as designation Zero because he's not on any database, and that's my. I think that's what they could be doing, but yeah, it's actually a call like you said.
Explain how they found him though. Like if he's not, did Monarch find him and just not put him on a record? They're like, we want to pretend like he doesn't exist. Is that pretty much what they did?
Well, fun fact. Dr. Vivian Grant, she was in Kong Skull Island, correct?
No.
Vivian Grant was not, no.
No, the only one that was Dr. Brooks, who you see later when Mothra hatches out of her cocoon and becomes the full Mothra.
One of the doctors or one of the scientists from one of the previous two movies had a notebook. In the notebook, they said the devil has 3 heads. And I'm trying to remember whose character it was, but he was nodded early on before this movie that he was going to be coming in. I'm trying to remember which character it was, but it was a fun little nod to the hey, surprise.
Right.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. It sounds familiar, but I can't remember.
Actually, y'all keep going. It's actually in the IMDb trivia section. I'll do some research on that real quick.
Oh yeah, we also meet Dr. Eileen. Which one is on the ship? Okay, because this is where I got confused. I didn't know it was 2 different characters. Chen is on the ship, and Ling is on the Mothra site. Yes. Did not realize this was the case. I know she talked about being a twin. She talks about being a twin. And it was like something that came down from her. You know, it was like in her family. You know, that twins were a thing.
Pen and cap.
And yeah, so Godzilla does his thing where he intimidates the ship. He does, which is a really cool scene. And then afterwards, of course, Dr. Stan's like, "Can we shut the gate now?" Oh God, I love him. They then start their journey to Antarctica because they figure out that's where they got to go. And so pretty much they're following Godzilla, but then Godzilla like drops off the map, right? They're like they were tracking him, seeing where he was going, and then he just disappears.
I wonder why he disappears.
Yeah, we get our first Hollow Earth reference and our reference to Dr. Brooks at the same time in that scene.
Yep. And what trying to think. Do they just know, like, when he drops off, because they were following him, right? They didn't really know. Did they know before they were following him that they had to go to Antarctica? Okay, they just kept on going.
They triangulated it and said this is all trajectories point to him going to Antarctica.
Right. So they go. So he drops off the map, but they keep going. They find out that Jonah's there already. So of course they bring in the military, like everybody who's on the ship that is military. They go in. They have tried to do an ambush on Jonah and his gang. Which, did you know that one of them was Jonah's son? Did they reference that? Because if you look on the IMDb, one of the characters' names is Asher Jonah.
Oh, that's a coincidence, though.
I don't know.
Because you'd think something like that would have some type of plot point in the story. And that feels very wasted not to have any type of reference at all.
You'd think that.
I mean that could be a nod, but I was like if that was a thing, I feel like that'd be like a
like they don't ever mention him by name.
The thing is like this is a movie, so that they get to pick the characters' names. Why would they pick the same last name if they weren't related?
And they never mention his name. Like they never say, "Oh, this is Asher Jonah, my son." No, he never says that. He never says his name. But on IMDb, they're like, "Well, we'll just."
Well, because I mean, in real life, like there's many people with like our last name, but in a movie, they get to pick what their characters' names are. So to pick the same last name with the same spelling and not have them have a connection is.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's the only character, if you watching, actually, now you mentioned, I never thought about that. It's the only character where Jonah's character refers to him as Asher more than once in the movie and acknowledges what happens to him later, actually calls his name out right when it happens. He says his name twice in the movie. He's the only other character outside of Dr. Russell and Millie Bobby Brown's character, whatever. That those two, Maddie. That's the only two characters seems to acknowledge him other than those two. That's it. So
we get there. And so they find out that Jonah's there. They try to do their ambush, but Jonah and his group realizes that they're there. So they pretty much ambush the military, killing a lot of them. And there was an ambush and an ambush. Dr. Russell, Mark, of course, he steals a gun and proceeds to go down by himself to try to, because he really just wants to get more. He wants to get his daughter back. I feel like he's going to try to persuade Emma he's going to try to persuade Emma to stop this, but he's more concerned about Madison. And so he goes down there with a gun and they both run into each other, and he's got the gun pointed and he tells Madison to come. She starts to walk towards him and then backs up because she wants to stay with her mother.
This being one of the most intense scenes in the movie.
She's manipulated her daughter. She's conditioned her daughter. I'm telling you.
But it is not necessarily what is going on right in your face. It's what's going on in the background.
Yes.
They are what you don't think you're hearing, but you are actually hearing.
The head military lady there, she shoots the guy holding the detonator. He drops it and Emma picks it up.
Asher's got the detonator. He gets shot.
Oh, so that was him?
Yeah, that was him. He gets shot.
See a quick clip.
Asher!
I didn't.
You see him coming down the elevator with him.
I guess it just happened. Everything happened so fast. I didn't catch any names. I thought he was just part of the group. He dies. I was like, oh, well, that doesn't mean anything.
I feel like I now have to go back and actually watch this scene specifically.
Yeah.
Like, it never clicked until you guys started talking about it. It's like, why did he say this guy's name like twice? Like, this random grunt soldier. And then, like, calls his name out when he got shot. Like, did he care about him?
It was weird. So the head military lady, she shoots Asher, as we know now. And he drops the detonator, and then Emma picks it up and has this really evil look on her face, which is just Vera Farminga at her finest, because she's really good at playing evil people. And
she's like,
I'm doing the right thing, Mark. I'm doing the right thing.
You have to have a evil face on before you press a red button, or else it just doesn't fit.
Yeah. And then she detonates. And what kind of everything goes crazy. So everybody evacuates from this subterranean area under the ice. Somehow most of the people get out alive. It's what happens on the surface.
On the surface.
Ooh.
Wait, hold on. Before we go any further. All right. So they're trying to find different ways to try to kill Ghidorah. Well, now we'll get to that. Why don't they just use what kept it in line for the longest, like ice, literally water, ice.
What
it was stuck in ice.
Are you gonna have all the military people just take buckets and start throwing water?
No. What? Like, first of all, they never should have let it go. But I mean,
they were doing the right thing.
It literally was stuck in ice.
No, they didn't wait long enough. See, there's a device they use later in the film that would create another monster called Destroyer. Then they would adopt freezer weapons, and then they could freeze King Ghidorah. But that's way down. Wow. That's way down the rabbit hole.
A lot of things.
We are all in right field.
Yes, let's put more monsters into this jam-packed film already.
I mean, not out of the impossibility.
No, I don't know this. Like, so how did it ever get frozen? Did they ever say?
So it's not canon. However, there was a tweet exchange between a fan and Michael Dougherty, and a fan was like, how possibly would have Ghidorah been frozen in Antarctica anyways? And Michael Dougherty texted him back, and he's like, it was a giant battle between him and Godzilla over ancient Antarctica, and Godzilla won. So it's not canonical in the film, but per the director, that's kind of how the hell it happens. So, I mean, take that as you will.
Interesting.
Interesting.
But this is my favorite. So, Monster Zero becomes free from the ice. Things are going crazy, like because of the explosion, it's causing the ice to shift and it's doing its thing. And then there's this giant hole. So what, as a human being, should you do? Oh, let's wander over to the hole and go, what's down there, guys? What's that? Oh my god!
Yeah, you have to go experiment and fuck around and find out.
And it just rises out of the ice. You get like the it's most for most giant monsters you see the feet first coming out, and then you see the it's like they go from one head and they go to the other to the two end heads and then the head in the middle.
Kevin.
Oh man,
Kevin.
His name is Kevin.
The dopey one on the.
I love that they kept that. They always have the dope. They have a dopey one every time.
This one is the dopey one.
That's funny.
We stand Kevin.
Man.
Yes, I love
funny.
Kevin.
Oh man,
he just wants to lick things and nudge things.
Is that like a collective name for him? Like in the Godzilla fandom?
Yeah, it's a big.
That's funny. That's funny.
On that note, y'all keep going. I'll be right back.
Bring all the toys. I want to see.
Oh no! I'm not bringing a toy. I mean, plus, I've already got the big boy.
You already got your Godzilla.
He's gonna bring an actual Godzilla.
So Ghidorah comes out of the ice looking badass, as usual. And the military is like, we're gonna shoot it because this worked with Godzilla, and nothing happens. And there's like a group of them, and then you see Ghidorah, at this moment is Monster Zero charge up, right? Because Ghidorah shoots the electricity before Godzilla shows up, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But it's not technically electricity.
It's not. It's gravity bolts, technically.
Okay.
But
see, we had a whole big discussion about this because later on, that does something with electricity and it overcharges him, and he just kind of.
Well, it can control the climate, can it?
But I also said that maybe the gravity bolts were electricity based, so that way he could. Because in this scene, he does when he fires his gravity bolts, it messes with the.
electricity.
It messes with the electricity, but it messes with the helicopter, which is in the air.
Yeah, so it's almost like an EMP-esque effect.
Which also there's a tie-in later on down the line in the movie.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Sorry, I had to go grab my Ghidorah.
We got.
Yeah. So that one's got more time travel in it.
Don't worry. When Jaws comes up in a couple weeks, every week I'll have a different. I mean, it's pretty much the same shirt, but it'll be a different Jaws shirt every week. So I get to feel like you guys feel right now, just like, oh yes. So yeah.
We also get our one and only F-bomb for the movie as well, right there too.
Yeah.
Right, by O'Shea Jackson's character.
Yep.
Yeah, and. Does Godzilla show up before or after when Vivian dies?
Oh, after. Yeah, it's after.
So wait, no, and then Godzilla shows up.
He shows up before she dies. But there's a little bit of action prior to him showing up, of course.
What we were talking about is that they had there's like a group of military guys standing kind of in a group shooting up at Monster Zero. And Monster Zero charges up and shoots them. One of them's like, "Oh shit!" And then, and then Monster Zero shoots the gravity. What is it?
Gravity bolts.
The gravity bolts. Oh my god! I
didn't even know that was a thing.
Don't yell at me if I say electricity at some point because it's just how it's gonna be.
You're not wrong, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so Ghidorah shoots the gravity bolts. And literally incinerates everything. Like all those military guys just are now just dust. But then it pans over to the ice, where you see the blue glow under the ice, and you're like,
wait, hold on. Wait, it doesn't. I could be wrong, but because I'm kind of. Doesn't Emma, doesn't she calm Ghidorah down with the orca before Godzilla shows up? On the helicopter or the whatever helicopters.
Yeah. When Ghidorah's about to
yeah. I thought that happened before Godzilla
So
showed up.
Madison, it was Madison who attempted to calm him down, and then whenever Vera Farminga's character gets access back of the orca, she turns it off and sends him back on a warpath. Because I don't know if you guys talked about this while I stepped out to change shirts. Also forgetting where the helicopter was crashed and Mark's character was trapped under all of the wreckage inside of the plane,
and he gets out and saves Dr. Graham.
Got out right as the damn thing fell because
come on, that's how it's got to be. That's how it's got to be.
Yeah,
but that's after Godzilla shows up.
It's like almost like where she sets Ghidorah back upon them to hey, fuck it. I mean. Yeah. We're gonna live whatever happens to you guys, so wish you all the best of luck. Like it seemed a little cold-hearted.
She's evil. I mean, I guess she sort of redeems herself,
but
she's evil. Sort of. So we see the blue glow under the ice. We all know who it is. He just busts out of the ice in the badass form, as badass as he could be. The only thing that I questioned is that he busts through the ice and then is able to stand on the ice without crashing back through the ice. Are we just going to ignore that? I mean, I do. Yep. Every time I watch the movie, I'm like, I'm just going to ignore the fact that he is just getting out of the ice to then re-submerge himself.
Have you ever seen a glacier? Maybe he broke through the side and then he's standing on the actual glacier.
I mean, if you're going to open that can of worms, the discussion we're going to have next week with Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, I already know.
Two big boys on a battleship.
Yeah,
really.
Yep. Oh yeah.
There's a little level of suspend disbelief.
That's some damn buoyancy if I ever see.
I mean, listen, the scene is epic. Him coming out of the ice, and then you get the always you get the pan from his feet, and it zooms up to hit, but it's like more of a faraway shot of him just looking sexy. I mean, Godzilla looking good.
That thick boy.
And yeah. And,
tell me how you really feel.
The awesome scene where they literally they charge at each other, and I love Monster Zero. The head's going down kind of like level as it's sprinting towards Godzilla, and then Godzilla's doing his thing, and that's when the helicopters get hit, right? As they're sprinting at each other.
Yeah.
Okay. So this
causing
this
the chopper to kind of crash. It pins both Mark and Dr. Graham. Mark gets free and then rescues Dr. Graham, and then they're running away, and Dr. Graham looks. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
No. I don't want to ruin this for you because you missed my favorite shot in the movie.
Oh no. Go ahead.
Oh, so before all that happens, before they charge each other, it's that big pan out shot.
Yes,
it's where Godzilla and Ghidorah, where Ghidorah does this intimidation display, and I like that. I like what they added with Ghidorah, where they added almost the rattlesnake effect to its tails.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really nice touch as far as this intimidation display. It's one of my favorite shots in the movie.
Anytime they show Ghidorah in that pose where it's standing, where the heads are straight up, the wings are full. Full. I don't know what you could say. Full mask, full bloom. I don't know, but it just is such an awesome shot, and you're going to see another shot of this later, which is probably on par as good as this scene here. But yeah, Ghidorah on one side with its it's
full mast.
Yeah, full mast, and then you have Godzilla in his all his badass looking.
Which, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's wild that you realize how big Godzilla is, and you see that just Ghidorah
makes him look tiny.
Right.
Like when they show that, and Godzilla is massive. like Ghidorah's like boom, and Godzilla's like this little thing. I'm like, oh shit, this is
wild.
You want
to know what I thought about in that movie though? It's just kind of like far fetched, but you know when somebody gets too much power and then they end up screwing up because they got too much, and they make stupid decisions because they're just, Ghidorah kind of reminded me of that, because if when I was watching the movie, I noticed a lot of the scenes, like the three heads were actually like kind of arguing with each other. Like
Yeah,
they're so powerful that they're they're so powerful that they're kind of like they're self-destructing because they're
it's Kevin's nature to be a little more on the derpy side. You got the middle one, like, hey, focus.
He's
You got a plane here.
Brother. Right. He has to keep everybody in line. And then this one is like, would you two stop arguing? And then this guy is like, let me lick the body.
Now do the other two have names?
I just know Kevin.
So they're just like, we got to name the derpy one.
They do, that's Kevin. But I mean, we're all here for Kevin. Like
Kevin.
That makes a lot of sense. But when I was watching it, just made me think of that because I was
I mean,
you notice in a lot of like war times, like a lot of these big time leaders that had all this power and they were so gung ho about being so powerful, they screwed up because they were so powerful and they got ahead of themselves. Where like I got that same effect with Ghidorah, where he was so powerful that was his biggest weakness, is that he had way too much. Like he
was just power hungry.
Yeah,
he wanted to be the alpha.
That really is a solid way to look at that.
Yeah.
And also, King Ghidorah, each one of his heads was portrayed by a different actor.
Yes.
For the mocap.
And then the body was done by.
Can you imagine being that? Like, imagine being one of Ghidorah's heads.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I've seen from the mocap section.
It's funny.
Cool. It's great.
It's like when you watch Benedict Cumberbatch when he had to do Smog in the movies.
Yeah.
Dan, you can be Kevin.
Do it
all the time.
We love.
I don't know if I can bring the energy.
Oh man. For potential audio listeners, you have no idea what the hell is happening right now. So we got that cool scene that I missed clearly because I'm just bad at this. And then they charge at each other, and it knocks the helicopter that everybody's in. And Mark and Dr. Graham are in the helicopter. Mark gets himself out, rescues Dr. Graham, and they're running away. And Dr. Graham looks up and screams, and Ghidorah steps on her. And what so sad scene. I liked her character. I thought her relationship with Dr. Serizawa was awesome. And unfortunately, it was like, you have all these characters. There's a bunch of characters I don't care about, and you killed one I do. I guess good job on Michael Doran's part to get that feeling from me.
The pain-stricken grief on Dr. Serizawa's face. It just
yeah. And even Kyle Chandler, just like when because it's right in front of him, he's just like, because it's so sudden. But yeah, it's a sad moment. Godzilla and Monster Zero are fighting, and Monster Zero is just a beast. Like, Godzilla kind of gets a couple moves, like he grabs one of the heads and pins it to the ground, but man, Godzilla gets, and then you know they're kind of at a distance with each other, and Godzilla charges up and shoots. What do you technically call Godzilla's
atomic breath?
Okay, atomic breath. He shoots it at Ghidorah, and Ghidorah just like completely just like, nice try, dude, and then fires the gravity bolts at Godzilla, smoking him right in the chest, knocking him down. He's like, what the hell? And and then Ghidorah's like, peace, and gets the hell out of there.
Wait, I just have a quick question for the people that have watched these since
the beginning of time.
How can we help you?
Dude, is there ever an explanation why these creatures live off radiation? Because they call it atomic breath because he lives off radiation, right?
So we could have that discussion. That's probably a better conversation, like off, like once we're done with stream, because that'll take up so much time.
I'd love to know though. So, but no. Yeah.
Like we can discuss that off stream because it'll side tangent for a while. Like there's a lot of representation.
4 hours later,
between Godzilla's origins and the nuclear fallout from World War II and the bomb testing. There's a whole absolute there's a reason behind it. So if you want to know, I will be happy to fill you in. And I'm sure DNA will also be able to pitch in as well.
Something worth note on, just a small comment to piggyback on that. Until this universe of films, Godzilla was the only Godzilla and other Godzilla-like creatures, because there's Godzilla Jr., are the only ones that are known to consume radiation.
Yes.
The radiation being consumed by all these creatures was not really a thing until the Monsterverse.
Okay. So Monster Zero kind of hits Godzilla with the gravity bolts, and Godzilla gets just knocked down, and Monster Zero's like, I'm out, and Godzilla's like, and then goes back to his journey.
Before we change scenes to the next part of the story, to go back to when Ghidorah is coming out of the hole.
Yeah.
Did you notice the tropical storm eye that he had formed when he was coming out to already put into place later that causes tropical storms and hurricanes in his flight?
No,
I
that's
didn't catch that. No.
There was like a perfect eye, like in the center of it when he was coming out to signify and show what massive power he creates with the flap of his wings. Like it was a cool little setup to where like if you had to like watch it back, like, oh, okay, this all makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to
go back and check that.
I'm gonna have to look at that because that's very deep.
That all happens. And then they are back on. Everybody is back on the big ship, and there is a call that comes in. Emma calls. Right, this is when the call happens. She calls in to explain why she's doing what she's doing. She's trying to save the world, and Kyle Jan's like, "You're insane, crazy lady. There's big monsters out there. It's going to destroy the world." She's like, "That's the point. Anywhere that these monsters or titans, they call them titans. Anywhere that they destroy." It brings new life. So like they're showing San Francisco after it was destroyed, and Vegas and all that, and everywhere that has been affected by these titans, it shows accelerated growth of new life. So that's what they look to do. They're like, we are destroying this. We are destroying the planet. They are destroying, but they're also rebuilding. So even if they wipe us out. Like it's for a good reason. Like it's this is what the planet needs to survive. And everybody's like, yo, crazy, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
And
she's basically.
Yeah, she's just kind of lost it. And then we go and then we get a signal. They picked up the signal. They're like, oh, they're in Mexico. Right? That's where they go, Mexico.
The Outpost 56.
Yeah, it's like a little island off Mexico or something.
That's right. It was like San Agustín or something like that.
I missed that one.
I just wrote down
it was in Mexico. And they get there, and they track this storm. They're like, oh, there's a storm heading this way as they get there. But then they find out that the signal was they were sending the signal to indicate that they were there, but they actually weren't there. They were in a completely different spot. I think they were gone to Boston, but they were bouncing the signal around to, pretty much draw them to the next Titan that we meet, which is the fire demon, right? That's what they call Rodan, is the fire demon, and he busts
just a big ass Moltres.
Yeah, he just busts through this volcano, which is another cool. Every entrance of every Titan in this movie is just really cool.
So another cool fun fact. So the Outpost. This was Outpost 56, which coincides when the original Rodan solo movie released in 1956.
Yep.
So it's a cool another little
awesome.
Ta-da.
Another reference to piggyback on his reference is how Rodan comes out of a volcano covered in lava. The Rodans in the original Rodan die because of a volcano.
Ah, interesting.
Isla de Mar is not a real place.
Oh, fair. Okay, fair enough.
All right. Well,
also Rodan is not his original Japanese name. It's actually Radon because of the element radon, the radioactive substance. And when it, for some translation reason, it ended up being Rodan. I don't know.
And to piggyback off the piggyback,
Just keep going, guys.
So this Rodan is actually the smallest iteration of Rodan we've ever had, but it's also the heaviest form of Rodan that we've ever had.
So it's smaller than that.
Wow.
Yes, and his speed and weight factor into what's about to happen here. So continue.
Another really cool entrance of him emerging from the volcano, and oh man, this next scene of him, he comes out of the volcano and then he takes flight and he kind of like glides over like within feet of this city or the town or whatever you would consider the village, and you just get this crazy amount of energy from him as he's going across, and then everything kind of it's like a tornado, just everything destroys.
It's the tie-in of nuclear energy and simulate an atomic blast, how it just
wipes things out,
moves everything in its path.
It was a cool scene.
Hold on, before that happens, when they notice that storm. Oh shit!
That's clear.
That's okay.
He don't look small.
No, no. I just have a point of now. Before this all happens with Rodan, it doesn't. When that whole storm's coming to Mexico, isn't that when Monarch finally realizes that Monster Zero can control the environment? Or
that's when they realize that the storm was Ghidorah, because the storm literally shifts like a hard 90 banks straight towards. They're like, oh wait, and they do like a whole like zoom enhance, and they see that Monster Zero is the eye of the
which is so cool. It's so cool.
Bradley Whitford points it out.
Yep. It's such a cool scene of Rodan coming from the volcano, going over the town, kind of wiping it out, just causing all this energy,
almost killing that poor child.
Yes, like the soldiers like holding on to him. It was terrifying. Like this.
Don't let go, kid.
Imagine living in that village and just being like, not knowing, like there's this gigantic firebird living in that volcano that hasn't erupted in probably a few hundred years.
I feel like they might know, because before he actually breaks out of the volcano, they're doing the news clippings of the news, and it literally says in bold, Titan. It's like breaking news, Titan on the loose, or like there's some type of tie-in to, hey, there's an incoming Titan, and that was before Ghidorah was shifting to go, and that was already, the volcano was already starting to go off. So I think they might have already known that there was a Titan that was already in the outpost.
Yeah,
because they were talking about they were already doing a mass evacuation. I think they knew, and they were just warning everybody in the area. But I mean, that also could be very open up to speculate.
You want to know what annoys me about a lot of these movies is that is how calm, like they're scared about how calm people are. Like if this thing came out of a volcano when I'm living in that city, so much crap is coming out of my pants.
I mean, you also got to think of just how much the actor is, like how much emotion the actor has to portray, because this is a movie. You got to think it's a movie. So the actor's like, okay, guys, and you're playing against nothing. It's CG, so it's you guys need to act like there's a massive firebird coming through this town. So I mean, it's hard to judge that. It's
no. I'm not judging. It was kind of more of a joke, but
in reality,
I want you to respond to that. Like if
it's a very fun old school Toho trope to whenever they were doing max evacuations from the movie when Godzilla was approaching. Yeah, no, the entire town was just leaving. You're like, nah, I'm running people over. I'm getting the hell out of Dodge. Like, no,
it makes me.
You or me.
Right. It's always with how many people are still left. Like,
right.
You have all this time to get out of there. Don't pack your bags. Just
it's always the ones who want to get in their car and try to drive out. Like, really? You thought that was gonna work?
But how many people, honestly, when there's like legitimate disasters in real life, hurricanes coming, people just don't leave?
That's true. There's very stubborn ass people.
As a hurricane boy, I can agree. I can hear. Oh, hey, there's a hurricane.
There's a giant monster coming. I'm not sticking around to see what it looks like.
Wait, Dan, I have a question for you directly. Sure. You just brought in a really cool picture of Rodan.
Yes.
All right. So that's a really cool picture, and you probably love it, right? But if that thing was flying at you, how would you what would be your?
But see, I'm leaving. I'm logical. I'm not like I was born and raised.
I was gone a long time ago.
We're in a situation where you had no idea, but you wake up one morning and you walk outside with your coffee and your robe, and you see this big ass flying firebird coming at you.
Wait, okay, hold on. At that point, so you already in this hypothetical scenario, you wake up, go outside, and he's already there.
No, he's in the distance, but he's coming.
I mean, at that point, I mean that's just one of those.
There's no way for you to get away.
From Dan's smile, it's like I'm dead. All right, I'm gonna enjoy my coffee. I'm gonna enjoy my flying bird, and I'm gonna.
Yes, it's like well, I mean, it's already here, so.
Yep.
Cheers.
Kudos.
Hey, I have a picture of you. Hold on a second.
Yeah, exactly. You one up me, Mother Nature.
Please, I'm on your side. I have a poster.
Yeah. So after Rodan does his thing through the village, it then flies towards the storm, which you find out is Monster Zero, and it does a lot of cool things to destroy all of these carriers. It grabs one with its talons, and then it does the cool one where there is multiple on the sides, and it does like a corkscrew, which is just badass. I thought that was really cool. And then as you're getting closer, you see the storm coming, and then you get the ominous approach of Monster Zero, and everybody's like, they pretty much were. They were like, we need to bring Rodan to Monster Zero. Like, we need to have these guys fight. Right? That was the plan. Right? They were literally purposely bringing him to Monster Zero because they were hoping they would just kill each other.
Yeah.
Ghidorah just slaps the shit out of Rodan, just like he slaps the shit out of everybody.
So here's the sad part. You missed the best one, and I think Dan knows which death I'm talking about.
Yep, I think I do.
It's Tyler injecting out just to land right
into his
mouth, and just like
Oh my goodness! Yes.
Do you know the reference, Umbreon?
Loosely, you might have to jog my memory.
It's an obscure one, so I understand. It's the Giant Claw. It's a reference to the Giant Claw from 1956.
Of course, you would know that. He loves it.
I fucking love that movie. It's a garbage movie, but there's like these planes. The guy's like eject, and then the plane like the bird comes by and like eats them.
Oh man,
I got it.
I don't know if it's intentional reference. Very close.
Yeah, that was great though. The guy like pretty much. Oh man, I gotta get the hell out of here! Right to just like conveniently just pops right in.
Like so yeah, dude, just eat your Tostitos, and it's like, oh yeah, no, you should just stayed where you were, man.
But yeah, so Monster Zero makes quick, like he just slaps the shit out of Rodan. Like it wasn't even a contest.
I mean, there was a back, not much, but there was a back and forth.
And Godzilla then shows up, and Godzilla then fights Monster Zero. When do they call him Ghidorah? Like when do they start calling him Ghidorah?
Later.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna still call him Monster Zero until we get to that point. So Godzilla starts fighting Monster Zero for the second time, and in this fight, Godzilla gets a little bit more on him. Does he rip Kevin's head off? Is it Kevin that he rips his head off?
Yes,
okay. He rips Kevin's head off.
He's fighting him in the ocean, which I think is what helps him in this part.
R.I.P. Kevin.
Yeah. So he getting Monster Zero into the water, kind of giving Godzilla the advantage. Rips off Kevin's head. But
all they had to do now was freeze the water.
But then but then Admiral Stans comes in. He's like, "Guess what, guys? We're gonna help. We have this oxygen like sucking bomb. It literally takes all the oxygen out of the air.
Oxygen sucking. I like that.
It's going to kill them all because they need, they got to breathe. We're going to suck all the oxygen out of the air.
I'll mention
That's-
since Umbreon stepped away, and I know he would know this. The oxygen destroyer used in that scene, you know that, was actually the device used by the original Dr. Serizawa in the original Godzilla of 1954 to kill the original Godzilla. That is what that device was. And if you look at it, like, we created this oxygen destroyer, and inside the diagram is actually the original design of the oxygen destroyer from the original.
The crazy thing is I've seen the original Godzilla, and I did not recall that the character's name was Dr. Serizawa in the original. That's wild.
And so it's funny because that Dr. Serizawa was destined to kill Godzilla in the original,
But
and this one
is protecting.
flip.
Which is cool.
And
I like the flip.
And I will say, I want to comment on this. I know how this plays out. I'm going to wait for Umbreon to get his headphones back on. I know how this scene all plays out, and I've already told him what this is all about, Umbreon. But this is a severe, a ridiculous waste of the use of the oxygen destroyer in this group of films. I'm so mad. It's like this device, like, this thing happens, and it's like throwaway for 5 minutes. You're like, okay.
Okay, put a pin in that, Cap. Wait till the end when we do our recap and our thoughts about the movie. I will rip that scene the fuck out. I have a myriad of issues with that alone.
Yeah, I explained what it was, so these guys know. So carry on.
Yeah, so Stentz says that he has this oxygen destroyer, and they're like, it's gonna, like, they were pretty much confident that it was gonna kill them all. And so and they would literally gave him no time to get out of there. So they
that missile was hauling ass with
it was pretty much there by the time they were like, hey, you might want to leave. So the bomb goes off, and you get this. It's a really cool scene because the bomb goes off, but then it like is super still. You get no sound, and then slowly. It's just like, and then sucks back in, and then you get like it's silent, but then you start seeing the fish pop up, all the dead fish pop up, and they don't get, or they hear, or Godzilla. Does Ghidorah come out, and then they start listening to Godzilla's heartbeat?
They hear Godzilla first, and then Ghidorah.
Yeah, and then Ghidorah comes out of the water, didn't affect it at all, and it flies away.
I wonder why he wasn't affected.
And then they're listening to Godzilla's vitals as it slowly fades to
and flatlines.
And then
flatlines.
And then you get the scene of Monster Zero perching itself on the volcano that Rodan birthed out of, and does the cool display again to show I killed the alpha. I am the new alpha of the Titans. And this is when all hell ensues around the globe.
No, this is when Kevin comes back.
That's right. And its head, Kevin's head grows back, and then the middle head grabs onto the little nasty membrane thing, and it rips it off. Oh my god, what a nasty ass scene! Oh man, that was nasty.
It's birthing a new head.
Like Kevin is like, "Hey, I'm back."
The dude who likes Jaws, like, "Oh, that's nasty."
I mean, I think the thing that was like one of those like it didn't really affect me, but it was the middle head grabbing onto it and helping him get it off, which is like, oh, all right. But yeah, it's cool. It Rodan lands on the volcano in front of Monster Zero and bows to signify this is the new alpha.
The new king.
The new king, yes. Is this where the first time we hear Hail to the King or something like that?
No, Love Live the King.
Or Long Live the King.
No, Love.
No, it's Long Live the King.
I said Love. Yeah, Long Live the King. Wow.
Yeah, that was
because it was what Alan Jonah said.
Yeah, it was Jonah.
Long Live the King.
Only me would say the right thing first and then totally fuck it up.
And then we have showing news of like all these Titans around the world destroying everything.
So this is what drives me. Actually, this made me laugh. This made me laugh hysterically. So the big ass turtle, or whatever, what's hilarious is like the only thing I could think of at the end of the movie. So whatever, when they all meet up. Okay, so is I can just picture him going, I'll be there in about a year and a half.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Actually, I got a cool fact about this scene, or about the news showing all the different Titans. One of the Titans is Leviathan, is in Loch Ness, which implying that it is the origin of the Loch Ness monster legend. Toho actually nearly made a kaiju film starring Nessie in 1978, and then they even got far enough where they made posters for the movie, and the movie never came out. I thought that was really cool. I actually did. That's something that I didn't actually pay attention to in the movie. I didn't even realize that was.
Wait, which one is this?
It was a Titan called Leviathan.
Leviathan. It was the play on Nessie, Loch Ness.
Yeah, it was. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's other ones. A lot of the ones thrown around here are either based on legendary creatures or cryptids. Because there's one for Tiamat. There's one I mentioned because I've seen it and I've known about it. But there's another lake cryptid. There's one called Titanus Mokele-mbembe, which is based on a lake monster in Africa, like Loch Ness.
Well, there was also there was reference to whichever outpost was in Japan, which people bitch about having to face Ghidorah. Yeah, imagine having to face a 5-headed dragon demon.
Oh, Orochi.
I'm good.
Yamato Orochi, whatever. I'll be right back.
Yep, he got it. But I was just like, it could be so much worse.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah. I thought that was a pretty cool fact.
So there was the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
So I'm just trying to, like I said, I didn't get time to refresh. So there's the Leviathan, there's the turtle, which I don't know the name of the turtle. Then there's like the one that's like a mammoth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the big mammoth one.
Yes.
What is the name?
Behemoth.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, that's a fitting name.
And then what else? Am I missing any?
There's the one that comes out of the oil field in Arizona, the big spider.
Scylla.
Which was a play on from the original Toho series, Kumonga, which was a giant ass spider.
Is it in relation to the spiders from Skull Island? Those things are terrifying.
Absolutely not in the room.
Those are bamboo freaks.
The bamboo spiders.
Wait. Can we even call them spiders? Like it's like a sprag because it's like a crab and a spider and a octopus. I don't know.
I'd still give it spider. But Kumonga is literally just a giant ass spider.
He's a dope spider. He's awesome.
And then we see another Muto. And then we have another Muto.
Okay,
that doesn't jump to the end.
I have a tie into that. Between Kong Skull Island and when Godzilla King of the Monsters came out, there's a graphic novel, Godzilla Awakened. I've got it behind me, and the main monster of the graphic novel is the Muto Prime. It is the big bad Muto of them all, which I think that was the Muto that we see in this movie was a Muto Prime.
Okay.
There's no confirmation or anything of that, but I believe that was the nod for those who read the graphic novel. That's what that Muto was.
There's another one Angel wanted to mention.
Well, the two that you see that they actually show you, like the one in Arizona, Scylla, and then you get another one in Germany, and that's
the big mountain range.
Yeah, it's Methuselah.
That's Methuselah.
I think those are really cool.
Was that the one that was a slight play on Anguirus, if I'm not mistaken?
It could have been. This is the big mountain range one that came up. So you don't get the best look at it, but he looks. I mean, for what you see, he looks awesome. But yeah, it could be an Anguirus play. So
we see all these. Oh, go ahead.
No, my question is: so for the Muto part, is like so the ones from the first one weren't Muto primes?
No. They were literally just like they were just.
So why
they were just Hawk Muto? But I mean, the one that's in the graphic novel is like the big bad booty daddy of the Muto. Like
so is that almost kind of contradicting their own movie? Like that you hide this Muto Prime when Godzilla's fighting the Muto.
Think of the Muto Prime like the big bad big bad Skullcrawler from Scar Island. Like it's just the late stage. Like, oh hey,
no. So what I'm saying is like when
it's needed.
Godzilla's kicking the crap out of these Mutos, why doesn't the Prime come out?
I'd have to go back. Like there's a whole storyline in the graphic novel. I read the graphic novel when it first came out. I've not touched it since. I just know that was the big.
This is what I'm thinking. So the Mutos, in my opinion, is that the Mutos from the first Godzilla, all their purpose was what they wanted to do was just to reproduce. They just wanted to mate. Yeah. They wanted to have babies. Godzilla was like, oh, you didn't register on the Titan database, and so I have to take care of you. And the Mutos were like, well, we have to fight you because we need to protect the eggs. That way, I think that's what they were doing. So the Prime, probably, because of the fact that Godzilla is the alpha, and these Mutos were kind of just doing. I feel like they were just doing stuff that they weren't supposed to in Godzilla's eyes. Right. He didn't need to come out.
Well, I only asked that because it's like when you watch Kong Skull Island and with the skull crawlers, is that like, they say he fights a lot of the little ones, but then finally the big one comes out, mostly because of the humans and what they're doing and dropping bombs and stuff. But it's almost like when you kill like a wasp or like a yellow jacket, like other ones know. It's almost like you're fighting two big ass creatures and a Prime of some sort doesn't know.
It feels it. Okay, so I get where you're going with that, and actually that makes a lot of sense. I really feel like it was more of just a holdover plot point in between.
I think that's cool that they did that. I mean, I didn't know that until you said something, so which is really cool. I just like, now that you say something, I'm like, wait a minute, why did, like, it's almost like as a human, like if a family member's in Florida and they're getting attacked by somebody, you're eventually going to find out, right?
Well, depending on how the species acts, because while these two Mutos were a breeding pair, they may only be breeding pairs. They may not be socializing or gregarious species to where they care about other ones. These two only cared about either because they were already communicating, and these ones knew they were going to breed. Like these ones were to be together, so any other ones don't care. Yeah, so
so if you want to look in the Discord chat. That's the big bad.
And if I remember correctly, the storyline from this is they mentioned a little bit in Godzilla 2014, but the Mutos were one of the main contributing cause to the extinction of Godzilla's species.
Yes.
Okay, so that makes sense. I just wanted to see what you guys thought, because in my head it was like when he said that, it was like, okay, so there's a Prime of this. Maybe it was like the protector of it, It's
like, oh, your family's getting fucked up, but you're
right.
It could be just being
no, because what Dan said makes sense. Like maybe they just don't care, They could be that kind of species that reproduces, and then, I mean, there's spiders. There's spiders in our day and age that they screw each other, and then the female kills the male, and then says, "Screw you, I have kids."
I see that's a
so. I just didn't know, because it's a little weird that, I mean, they're big creatures. It's not like it's this little ant getting killed by
I'm reading trivia. I'm listening. I'm just reading trivia because I got an article that I saw that I thought it was pretty cool.
But either way, like that Muto Prime that you put in Discord, that thing looks like it doesn't give a fuck.
Not a singular fuck.
Like, that thing is, So actually, maybe it just didn't care. Maybe it just literally was flipping off his other family members and was like, I don't really give a shit.
In the graphic novel, it actually almost kills Godzilla. So it that'll tell you how much of a threat it poses. Like it's a big boy.
You want to know? It's like, what's weird about that picture is like it's got big ass front legs. It's like it's skipped leg day on the back legs.
Chicken leg.
It almost gives it more of a not like Kong, but more of a gorilla.
I was gonna say that gorilla. Yeah.
Very just.
But it's got its little arms too. It's kind of cool.
It's got the little
the T-Rex.
A fun trivia that I just saw is since he has the ability to breathe with both gills and lungs, Godzilla is considered more of an amphibian than he is a reptile.
Yep.
Yes.
True.
Okay. And the names given to Ghidorah's heads during production was Ichi, Ni, and San, which are the Japanese
Excuse
words
me?
for 1, 2, and 3.
2, and
And
3.
San's nickname, Kevin, likely refers to how San is easily distracted.
He's the inquisitive one. He wants to know,
He's
what
curious,
does this
yeah.
burnt body taste like? I want to
Yeah.
nibbles it.
I mean, he's like the body.
He's like, why can't I ever leave my brothers? I want to have my own life.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
why can't I nom the body?
Don't take it from him. He deserves this.
and to compare sizes between Ghidorah and Godzilla in this film, Ghidorah stands at 521 feet tall, making him 128 feet taller than Godzilla, who stands at 393 feet, which we do see when they do the first shot of both of them together. You see that comparison is insane.
So there's a fun fact about Godzilla's size. So Godzilla was significantly, well, not significantly, but almost like 75 to 80 feet smaller in the 2014 movie. And then Shin Godzilla came out in 2016 from Toho, and it was the tallest Godzilla in the series. So Legendaries went, "Oh, really? Fuck you, hey, big."
Oh my beer.
It's literally just it's just a pissing contest on the size.
But Toho even one up them before that, where they're like, we'll make Godzilla Earth. And they're like, we're the fucking Pope now. And he's like 10,000 feet tall or something. I'm like, what?
He's literally part of
man.
he's literally a continent himself. Yeah.
No. Anyway, sorry.
It's
So,
literally
all right. So
Okay.
back to the plot. We see the news clips of all the Titans destroying the world. And then we go to
The Mothra cocoon site.
the Mothra cocoon site, which then we see Dr.
Wait,
Brooks
hold-
again. We haven't
wait,
seen him
it-
since Kong Skull Island, but he is older now since this takes place during modern times.
Don't they hold on before this? Isn't they name? Isn't this finally before this happens? Don't they name Monster Zero and they finally figure out that he's King Ghidorah?
Yeah.
Not until after that.
Right
after
after
Mothra, after
Right
Mothra
after Mothra.
emerges.
Oh, okay. Glad you guys are here.
So, fun fact, I did not know that this was Dr. Brooks from Skull Island until like the second or third time I saw this movie.
Yeah.
I just never I never heard the name. Like they might have just said Brooks and I just didn't think of it.
Can you do me a favor? Can you look at, because you have the IMDb pulled up like I am, but I'm not going to look at. Is it not the same damn actor, just
No.
either
Nope.
CGI'd or with makeup? Oh, is it a completely different actor?
It's the actor. If you've seen the recent Justice League movie, he plays Silas Stone.
Okay. I got you. He looks
Yeah. Fun
really
fact,
much like
that
him.
guy played. Oh God, I can't remember his name, but he was in Terminator 2. He was the scientist who worked for that Linda Hamilton's character, Sarah Connor, goes to his house because he is the one who creates the Terminators in the future. And so she was going to go kill him, and then she persuades him to not go forward with things, and then he ends up dying anyways. But that's the same guy as Brooks in this film. But yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same actor. The actor from
he looks very
they
spot
look
on,
very
though.
similar. Yeah,
Like,
and then you see
Miles Dyson.
Miles Dyson. Yep, and then we meet.
Dyson.
Is it Chen's sister? This is the twin.
Yeah.
This is Chen's twin.
Yep. They notice that something is happening with Mothra's. Mothra has a cocoon built inside of a waterfall, which is cool because of the display once she emerges from the cocoon. Why are you saying that? What?
No.
Oh.
She doesn't like Mothra.
No.
if you forget.
No. It
Am I
has to
saying
do
something
with
wrong?
it has to do with the twins.
No, this whole scene's beautiful.
Okay, go
This
into detail.
this is the
of
best Mothra scene.
It is. This
By
is the best
far.
Mothra scene in the movie. Like the song and everything. I get goosebumps every
But
time I watch it.
there also is another fun fact about the twins.
Okay, just go for it.
So the character who plays the twins, whenever later on when they show that she is lineage 3 generations deep,
Yeah.
it is her playing all
Yes,
6 characters in the photos.
I did read that.
Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just this part of the movie with Mothra. I mean, this is like one of my favorite parts of the movie. Like, I come from the guy who has literally Mothra tattooed on him. Like, this is just like my. Oh, this is so great.
Yeah, she hatches from the cocoon, and she sprawls her beautifully glowing wings under the waterfall, which is such a cool shot.
Did you notice about her wings?
No. Oh, her eye. So her wings are supposed to match the eyes of Godzilla, right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
So the thing about Mothra, because I know Aradel doesn't like it.
I know they're singling you out.
No, hold on. Oh,
I
okay.
know a lot about Mothra as much as I hate Mothra. Well,
okay,
not hate,
so
but
to defend my is that this was like the first movie that I watched that I really like seen Mothra, where you guys know a lot more about the whole entire,
She is a queen and must be protected.
No, but I don't know.
I thought donuts for kids.
They are donuts. They are chocolate donuts. You guys.
Okay, so how are you gonna hate somebody that has chocolate donuts as kids? How are you gonna hate somebody?
That's why I said her kids are better than she is.
It's not wrong.
How are you gonna hate on the mother? She has to make the chocolate donuts.
We still
right?
have a lot of film left. We've almost got 2 hours in. This is gonna be way longer than last week's, and we didn't even take a break. You guys want to take a break? You guys need a break?
I already went to pee, so I'm good.
This movie does cover way more than what.
Oh, it does. I mean, there's a lot in this movie. Everybody good? Everybody good?
I'm good.
I'm gonna have to pee eventually, but I mean that's life.
That's why I got up. I couldn't wait any longer.
We can take a quick break if you need to.
No, I'm good. I'm good today.
I'm
Last week, not so much.
Yeah.
I only have to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Let's go till 2.
If you guys need a break, just please say something. Just yell at me, and we'll take a quick break. Chat, I know you're still there. I love you and thank you for being here. I hope you're enjoying yourself in the shenanigans that is this podcast. Listen, this is
make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe to the Parker. He deserves every little bit of credit.
Maybe not the final.
So does Mothra. So does Mothra. So does Mothra.
But I appreciate that.
Mothra deserves everything. I'm just saying.
Dan is hurting right now. He is in physical pain. I can see it in his eyes.
If Dan could jump
through
the screen and punch me in the face, he would. He would literally. He would hit me with that freaking poster he came in with.
This is so good. This is so much fun. All right, let's get back to the plot before this podcast goes 5 hours long. As much as I love you guys.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to rein us. We will talk about this all day. You gotta rein it back in.
Don't worry. When it comes in a couple weeks, I'm gonna be exactly where you are right now. Just unnecessary, just a bunch of just random things that no one is going to.
I said, hopefully
most people won't know.
Be up early the next day because Parker's gonna talk all night.
It's not even me this time. It's not even me this time. All right, so we see Mothra birth herself out of her cocoon, which is really cool. And all right, refresh me on what's next.
Movie. Okay.
Mothra shows up at the. Essentially, they all go back to Castle Bravo. Yep. And then like Kyle, whatever his name was, Kyle. They're gonna leave. Where are you gonna
go? and what's his name? Sam is like, where are you gonna go, man? Like, what are you doing? And then you hear like they see her, right? Like in the distance, like kind of like a glow in the distance.
She's up. She's above the cloud.
Yeah, and
she makes all the clouds, the storm go away.
Yeah, and so Kyle Chandler and Sam, they go to the end of the ship as Mothra emerges from the clouds, which is really cool. And I read that her screech or cry or whatever she does, the noise she makes is actually the noise she makes in her like original.
Yeah, it's just slightly
modified it. Yeah, but it's like the same exact thing.
It is. It is.
I guess Michael Dougherty actually liked what Gareth Edwards did with the roar in the first movie, but he wanted to make Godzilla's roar more accurate to the original Godzilla, so they tweaked that too.
There is actually a roar in the movie from one of his pains of anguish, which is actually ripped straight off from one of the Toho movies. Like it
Which
is
is cool. I love the Godzilla roar from the 2014 film. I love it. I just love the
no, go ahead, finish.
It's when he roars and then it looks like it's a sound he makes when he's like inhaling, where it's like a rumble.
Yep.
I love it, but I like his roar in every movie is good. All the creature sounds of like Monster Zero or Ghidorah, the screech that they make when they're in battle is so cool. Like it's all good.
Dan, because you'll know,
Yes.
you know which roar that I'm talking about. Was that a Heisei ripped roar that was used? Because I got very 90s Godzilla from that roar. I just want to make sure that I'm in the right ballpark.
That's what it sounded like to me, but I think it was the scene where he gets. I think the scene I'm thinking of is the same one you are. It's when he gets lightning bolted in Antarctica and goes off that cliff.
It's got to be post 85, but before Destroy. It's somewhere in that pod.
I agree.
And so so Mothra comes down and she's crying because I'm guessing she knows that Godzilla I don't know if she knows he's dead or whatever he's doing. But they, it's just a really cool display of how, she's the design of Mothra in this movie is amazing. I think the spectacle of all these creatures is just continues to be so good throughout these films.
Like she's an alpha in her own regard.
Right.
Yep.
And then they are talking about is it then they're talking about how if they bring this nuke, or they found this space and they kind of found where Godzilla is, but they figured out that it's highly radioactive and they can't get any ships in there. They can't get anything like they wanted to bring it in there with like a drone, right? Like a drone sub or something, and drop the nuke. But they
They were talking about trying to torpedo a nuke.
Right, but it wouldn't work.
Well, yes and no, because that was the original plan that they were going to torpedo the nuke in there, but that's after they actually make the dive and they go through the hollow earth and the sub that they're in gets damaged. Mm-hmm. They're no longer able to shoot the nuke in there. But that was the plan that they were going to. They were going to boot the snoot with a nuclear war.
Yeah. Well, they also before they do all that, they discuss the origin of Ghidorah's name, and then they talk about Dr. Chin being the long line of twins, which is also a reference to Mothra, the Shinobi, always being the twin girls with him. And the first photo shows 1961 Infant Island, which was where Mothra was originally from in the Japanese movies. 1961 was the date for the original Mothra. So a lot of references in this short amount of time. So yeah,
it's quick. It's rapid fire.
It's like one after another.
Yeah, like she talks a lot.
And then they talk about Ghidorah, like I figured out where his name's from. And
and they talk about how that Ghidorah
do they
is an
sound
alien.
like that?
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
That's great.
Wait,
I
they
can't
talk
wait to
about
rewatch
Ghidorah.
it.
They talk about how Ghidorah is an alien. It's not from this planet.
Which is why it didn't get eviscerated by the oxygen destroyer.
Yeah,
don't need no oxygen.
Yeah. So they take the dive because they were going to torpedo the nuke to the spot that Godzilla was. The sub gets damaged. They couldn't, or do they travel through like this old, like ancient civilization?
It was like an Egyptian ruin.
Yeah, that's after the whole.
The sub gets damaged.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the ancient civilizations actually built the temple for Godzilla. Like
for Godzilla, yeah. Because there's murals. There's cave drawings and all that of Godzilla and other creatures as well, or other titans.
Fun fact, of course, there's a goddamn Viking ship there because the Vikings always get to everything before everybody else.
Absolutely, they do.
So okay, that's a thing.
So they know that Godzilla is in this place that he's recharging. Pretty much, he has to He's soaking up the nuclear energy from the radiation from the ocean floor. But they're just like, oh yeah, shouldn't be that bad, right? He's just got to recharge and go. And like, yeah, but it could take years before this happens, and Ghidorah and these other Titans will have the world already destroyed, and it'd be too late. So, Dr. Serizawa volunteers himself to what?
That's later in.
Well, I mean, it's not that far in.
Well, I mean, like that part's after the boat gets destroyed, because we're still in before they actually
go down. I asked if this happened. I asked if they had gone through there before the subs got damaged, and you said no, the sub gets damaged and then they travel through.
Well, no, it was Dr. Serizawa's decision to do it himself was after the sub was damaged and they realized they couldn't just fire the torpedo in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still above before they drop down, where they're still planning all right, this is what we're gonna do.
Right.
I thought we were past that. Were we not?
Yeah, because they talk about
because you already talked about the underwater city and stuff, and they don't see that until they go down through the.
Okay. I'm interlapping.
No, you're right.
So they see, and what's his name, Dr. Stanton. He talks about how it's older than most civilizations of on the surface.
Yeah. Many years before the Romans.
Right. And which is cool. I love this ancient, the temples and all that things, just literally to worship. Do they worship him? Is he like a god to them? I mean, he is called Godzilla.
Yeah, they kind of believe that.
He has to be. I mean,
right. I mean, he's
and the dead Anguirus skeleton, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I mean, it almost reminds me of the Kong Skull Island. It's like the same type of mural for what they had for Kong. Kong was the god of that island, and the skull crawlers were the bad things. Where this same thing is Godzilla was their god, and the rest were.
That's actually the first trivia for this movie. Is a skeleton can be seen outside of Godzilla's underwater temple. The skeleton bears a body shape resembling Anguirus, a dinosaur who served as Godzilla's ally in a few films. The filmmakers have confirmed that it is in fact Anguirus.
Yeah, he's the homie.
That's cool.
He's the homie.
Yeah, so Godzilla's sitting there. He's charging up, but it's going to take a while. So their original plan was to shoot this nuke in there to give him to kind of recharge him quicker, but the sub gets damaged, and so they have to come up with another plan. And that plan pretty much is Dr. Serizawa volunteers. He said, "I'm going to do it. I will pilot a craft with the nuke to where Godzilla is." And which is and then of course you killed his partner, and now we got to watch him die. Why we got to watch all the good people die?
This scene,
but yeah, this whole thing is great. It's a great decision on the filmmaker's part to really it's you're killing the characters that people are attached to more than if let's say one of the soldiers gets the cat is a casualty to one of these Titans. It's not, you're not attached to them as much as these characters. So it was good on the filmmaker's part to really keep you going by eliminating these established characters that have been in other films. But yeah, so Serizawa volunteers to take a craft with the nuke to Godzilla, and they're like, well, it's super radioactive, so if this is what you're gonna do, there's no coming back. This is literally, you're gonna die. And he's like, that's cool, I'm ready.
I was like, oh no, I'm literally detonating a damn nuke. I didn't plan to come back from this in the first place.
Yeah. Well, I think one of their plans was initially they were talking about just dropping the nuke and then going back, but they're like, yeah, it's too radioactive. We can't do that. You go in there, you're dead. You cross that barrier, you're done. So we have a heartfelt goodbye with everybody. And he's off. And you see him pilot the craft through the ruins of this really cool looking civilization, and Godzilla. And then you from the distance, you see at first you just kind of see a black silhouette, but you see his sails, which indicate that's where he is. And he's just laying there. He's just chilling. It's long night of drinking. Ate a lot of Taco Bell. He's spent.
He had a big hangover.
Ready. Yeah, he's ready to just zonk it out, you know? What's up? You're like turning red over there. You're like holding something back. What's up?
His sails?
What
His dorsal fins?
That's what you call them, his dorsal fins?
That's what they're called.
Yeah,
Are
they're
they?
called his dorsal
Okay, I'm
fins.
sorry. I've always called them sails.
I mean, you're not wrong, but it's just like
yeah, because I mean, I just think of like a stegosaurus, and that's what they're called on their back. Is they're called sails.
they're good because it's part water. So yeah,
I mean, when I think of a door, yeah, okay. Well, damn it. I'm mad at Dan.
You were the
because
one. You were the one that
just
was
I'm
let
mad
like,
at Dan
he's
for not
more
correcting me 2 weeks ago
amphibian.
when I was saying sails the whole episode.
It's
I call it
fine.
dorsal plates, so I mean,
Dorsal
to each
plate,
their
whatever.
own. I'm not judging.
They're sails to me,
We
all
just
right,
like to
people.
go
Let's
with
get
it.
over it.
whatever
I
makes
could-
you happy. We
I
support
could've-
you no matter what.
I mean, sails are still on water, so how about that?
So yeah, so you see his dorsal fins in the distance, which is cool, and then he's just, you know, he's recharging, he's snoozing it away. And then, you know, because Serizawa has such a deep connection with Godzilla, this scene is so emotional. I think it's probably one of the most emotional scenes in the movie, which is crazy when you think about a movie like this where you're like, you feeling something deep. Because for one, I love this character. When it comes to the human characters of these films, especially of just the two that he was in, you know, I loved him in the first one. And I loved him in this one, and watching him do what he, you know, making that sacrifice and having that really heartfelt moment of going up to him and you know, putting his hand on his nose. And what does he say?
Sayonara.
Yeah, he says
Yeah, he
goodbye,
says,
old friend.
Goodbye,
Sayonara,
old friend.
Tomoyo.
Funny enough,
Thank you.
Dan,
I couldn't remember the
this
rest.
is not
Yeah,
the only Serizawa sacrifice that involves Godzilla.
Aradella has my back because I knew the Sayonara part. I was like, oh crap, what the hell's the rest?
Yeah, but he ultimately says goodbye, old friend, and then the nuke, and then you don't hear it, you just see it. The nuke goes off, it destroys everything, and you get the surface shot of the water coming up, and then it's the waiting game now of them waiting for him to come back.
Like dude straight inhales an entire line of nuclear radiation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is literally a guy in a bathroom at a party in 1985, just ready to go back out there for another 6 hours. Let's go.
Off the back of a toilet.
Yeah. But it's glowing.
We're talking about Scarface now.
It is. I mean, it's a massive pile.
Yeah. So he takes a nuke straight to the gut and just completely re-energized. Then we're back to with Jonah and Emma talking about everything, where she's like, this is not what we planned. He's not under our control anymore. We thought we could control, you know, do they call him Monster Zero? What do they call him? Do they call him Ghidorah? Like, what do they?
I remember
Jonah,
if they still call him.
Do they call him?
I don't think they actually specify him by name at this point.
I didn't think so. But they're like, he is not under our control. He is the alpha now. He is, we can't do anything. And you know, they're talking back and forth, and of course there's a vent nearby, and Madison hears everything, and she's like, I can't be a part of this anymore. And then, I know that Madison, Emma, and Jonah have this conversation of like, he's just like, what did mommy tell you? What did she tell you was happening here? Like, you know, like this is what we're doing, and we're not going to stop regardless of how out of control it has gotten. And you know, she storms off, and her Emma and Madison get into a fight. And Emma locks herself up in her room, and then later on she steals the orca and drives away to good old Fenway Park.
Yep.
In Boston. Good old, only a couple hours away from where me and Nemesis are right now.
Oh, so you guys saw the whole thing?
Yeah, we saw it from a distance. Like, we're like, holy shit, we're gonna stay here. There's a lot of glowing lights and shit. I'm not all about that.
We'll just ignore the diapers in my closet.
Right. But yeah, she drives to Fenway with the orca because she is going to try to. What is her thing to try to like calm everything down or to stop it all?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna play it over.
Because she's got the amplifier, right? She's gonna do it over the speakers.
Yeah, she just has it on the wrong frequency.
Right, and then we see the cool scene where Godzilla comes out of the water. He charges up, which is always one of the coolest sounds is him charging up, and he aims up and shoots straight up into the air, which is a cool visual. It's the poster, of course. As you can see, if you see that is literally what he does in that scene, right below me. Shoots his atomic breath into the air. It signifies back. Everybody's like, yeah, let's go. Everybody's hyped up.
Not the last time you'll see that moving forward.
No. But isn't it the opposite direction though?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No. I'm like moving forward in the series. Not the last time you see him fired. Just
okay.
You get where I'm going with that.
Yeah. So Madison's trying to mess with the orca, trying to get things like right, trying to control the chaos that is the Titans destroying the world, but accidentally calls Ghidorah to where she's at, and not a good situation as Ghidorah is just destroying a classic ballpark, just destroying one of the
It's a bad day to be a Red Sox fan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Red Sox already suck, so let's just destroy Fenway, right?
I'm not going to go for that's this idea you are now.
I guess Green Monster's not the only monster at Fenway.
Yep, you're right. And so Ghidorah's doing that, and then Godzilla shows up, and we get another awesome fight scene between the two. And again, Ghidorah is just manhandles Godzilla. Like you get a couple good back and forths, but then Ghidorah's like, you know what? I got these giant wings. I'm gonna just pick your ass up and fly you to the moon, and then I'm gonna drop your ass.
But the best part of that was their initial run up into each other. The big old
and it's like the shock wave that comes when they both hit each other. Now, does Rodan and Mothra fight at the same in this part before before Ghidorah picks him up?
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's before he gets.
Okay, so Mothra shows up,
and Mothra webs the door to the building.
Yeah, and Godzilla sees her and he's like, "I love you," which is such a. Isn't that a thing though?
No.
Why do people say that? I thought there was a thing with like Godzilla and Mothra had a fling. Like what?
It's literally just a symbiotic relationship between.
It's a real thing.
I just want to say it. Okay, I just want to make you guys uncomfortable and hate me for saying it. All right?
Behavior.
He looks at her with those baby blue eyes, those atomic eyes. It's just like, I love you.
Bye.
Oh, how to destroy a podcast. Oh, God. Okay, so Mothra shows up. It's a cool scene. It's a cool scene. And then, Rodan shows up too. And then as Godzilla and Ghidorah are fighting, Mothra and Rodan start fighting, which is cool. But Rodan is pretty much he's definitely outpowering her. Like he's definitely stronger than her. But she's doing what she can do. She knows. I feel like Mothra knows that she can't beat him, but she's trying to just slow him down. And then we get where he sets fire to one of her wings, correct? Like damaging one of her wings.
She just gets torn up.
Yeah, she gets ripped apart by Rodan, but then she gets a cool last hoorah, right? What?
Does not get ripped apart by Rodan.
Well, she gets not
she
ripped
gets
apart.
ragdolled, but I mean,
No, I'm not saying ripped apart. I'm talking like her wings get damaged. Like she is pretty much. She's getting.
She gets ragdolled at the
she's
most.
Getting slapped around.
Like no major damage. It's just Rodan.
Yet.
I mean, dude, she's like stumbling across when she's crawling up on top of Godzilla. She's like barely staying her own weight. Come on.
She had a couple shots of moonshine. She's feeling some type of way right now.
Yeah. So her wings are damaged, and she kind of gets a last shot on Rodan and stabs him, which you think is like the killing blow because of the way he reacts, but it's not. Where she takes her stinger and stings it, puts it right through his chest. And he has that like it's that reaction where you didn't know if it was her or if it was Godzilla like grabbing him. You didn't know it. You just saw his like it was like a stunned like look on his face. But then you look down and it's the stinger going through his chest, and then he falls.
And the over dramatic yelping as he falls to the ground.
I know. I said he's like a little puppy.
Like if there was a Titan Wilhelm scream, that's it right there.
Yeah. See, now I wonder when she does that, because she does sting him. So generally, stingers are not just a non-injection.
Well, I mean, Mothra's never had a poison type of anything.
It's true. She has had stingers, but they try to. It seemed like they try to make it more biologically grounded. And generally, when an organism has a stinger, it's for injection purposes.
I mean, not wrong.
I'm just thinking hypothetically, she could have injected something into him as well. It's entirely possible. It'd be cool, but it's just a thought that I've always had.
No, I'm not against that whatsoever.
So that happens. Mothra is in rough shape. Rodan is out of the commission for the duration.
He's licking his wounds.
Yeah, he's. I mean, I think some people probably thought he died, like that because of the way that he reacted, but he doesn't.
Yeah, it's very over dramatic.
Yeah, he's a drama queen, absolutely.
Yeah. So Godzilla is fighting Ghidorah. Ghidorah gets the upper hand and decides. Yeah, and then this is
electricity at
what's
this
that?
point.
Bites onto that,
that's right. Bites onto the transformer, gaining more energy. And just smokes Godzilla and just smokes Godzilla with a good beat of good bolts of the gravity bolts. It's such a cool gravity bolts. And it like really gets Godzilla good where he is like having a hard time recovering. And then Ghidorah's like, all right.
At this point, this is when the military is like, hey, that nuke worked a little too fucking well. He's about to have a fucking atomic meltdown.
Yeah, they knew what the hell was happening.
The big drawing factor, like, hey, he's about to go nuclear at this point.
Yeah, which God, I can't wait for this. So Ghidorah picks up Godzilla, flies him up to the sky, really
into
high.
Space, might we add?
Was he? Is that really how far?
He's
falling above the clouds.
He's falling far enough to where he's catching.
Right, he sets on fire.
He sets on fire. He's being dropped from space.
Yeah.
He's literally he is a megaton meteor at this point.
So Ghidorah picks him up to space, drops him, freaking just like a missile falls to the ground, and he is just spent. He is in bad shape. Ghidorah displays his dominance, and Mothra slowly crawls her weak ass up on top of Godzilla and pollinates him.
Yeah.
Well, she sacrifices herself.
She sacrifices herself, right? Yeah, she's pretty much trying to get him back up again, and she figures it's the only way to do it.
I mean, she's giving him the radiation, is she?
Yeah, is the best form of God. And Dan knows what I'm talking about. Like, this is.
Yeah, we need a minute. That doesn't happen yet. We gotta have a minute before that.
Mothra does that, and then we get to Emma. She is trying to find Madison because Madison takes the orca. She leaves, of course, does does all those things that we talked about before. Trying to figure out where she is, and then she runs into. Mark actually goes to Fenway because he finds out that that's where she is, and that's when just destruction. Ghidorah is destroying everything, and
that's when they find the orca crushed.
Yes, and the orca is damaged. Emma comes by and is just like, "Get in, like let's go. We got to get out of here. We got to find Madison." And they're arguing in the car, and then O'Shea Jackson has the line of like, "Oh, I'm glad you're not my parents," or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I would run away too if you were my parents.
And that's where they do the whole
and they're like,
pause.
"What? What'd you say?"
Like, she went home.
Yeah, and so they go to their house, their old house, and it's destroyed. And they're going through the rubble, and Madison is in a bathtub just perfectly. She's just in there, you know?
Hey, tornado awareness.
No, I mean...
Yeah, that's true facts.
I mean, it is. I mean, the thing is like, you if you live in Boston or San Francisco, are you hiding in a bathtub? There's no tornadoes there. I mean, there is tornado. I don't know. Whatever. They found her in a bathtub. They take her out. She's dead. Oh, we gotta, the typical, over dramatic come back to life type deal. And then they, they're like, we have to fix the orca. We gotta try to draw Ghidorah away. And Emma's like, I'll do it. Or no. She's like, we're all gonna go onto the carrier, and she does the old almost gets on and then like turns around right as like the doors are shutting. We're like, you can't come now. I'm doing this by myself. And it was like, no, the dramatic, like, Madison going crazy because her mom's gonna die type deal, and that lasts way too long. That's the longest, like hold me back type deal. Like, all right, yeah. we got the point. Emma takes the orca and takes a Hummer and starts driving away, and Ghidorah's chasing after her. Flips the...
Hold on.
What?
Hold on.
Is that really what this says?
I really love that she wrote
I did.
I was like, is that what we're calling her? Pollinating herself? Mothra sand? I mean,
It's
I'm
sound.
cool. But I was like, all
I'm
right.
writing really fast.
Okay, I know. Okay, I know what part you're talking about.
I just appreciate the wom.
Oh my god. So Ghidorah ends up flipping the Hummer, and then we hear the ominous music, like the sound of Godzilla's back, baby.
Well, we get the whole "Long live the king" while she's dying.
But I thought that was she says that before Godzilla shows back up.
Yeah, she says it, and then Ghidorah's like,
yeah. She says it right.
Oh, right, and then so she says she's on the ground and she sees Godzilla, but you don't see him yet. And then she says, "Yeah, long live the king."
And it just gets Thanos out of existence.
Yeah, and then you literally see things just melting, like just dissolving into nothing, and you hear just the ominous sound. You don't see him yet. You just see everything around it is just melting away, and then you see him glowing red. Like his eyes are red. He's just glow. Oh my god, this is the coolest Godzilla ever.
It is burning Godzilla, bar none.
Oh my god. Dark Razard's in the chat. What's up, buddy? Piggy, hello. John, I saw you up there, buddy. Yeah, that's so cool.
Just the best fucking callback for a god. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go.
Yeah, the sound they use for him for this duration of him, it's just so badass. And
they're matching like.
Well, dude, I still have my head on hand. My shelf's out there. This guy's in my room.
I do really like that the pulsing, like when he like charges up and then pulls it out. I love that. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
It's Mothra sound.
The impulsive Mothra sound.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So I also missed. I just thought of it. We also missed when after Ghidorah drops him and he lands, like all of Ghidorah's heads grab on and start like, is it like taking his energy?
Yeah, trying to absorb his.
Yeah, they're biting onto him and they're trying to drain him of the radiation.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
Producing excessive amounts
All right.
of.
I know that was like a while ago, but I completely forgot about that.
Or even better, trying to drain him of his G cells.
Oh.
Things I don't know. But yeah, he just looks badass, and then he just starts emanating this wave. It's like this just energy wave that hits Ghidorah, and the first thing you see is Ghidorah's wings start deteriorating. And it's just, and Ghidorah, that I think that's when Ghidorah realizes I'm fucked.
Very fucked.
I am like, what happened? And then you get the second wave that hits the heads, and the heads start to deteriorate and fall apart, and you just see the skeletons underneath.
Ghidorah thinks this is what prison must be like. Carry on.
Yeah. And then Ghidorah gets knocked down. Godzilla steps on Ghidorah's chest and then steps on it, and like the energy pulse comes out of Ghidorah. Oh, so cool. It's such a cool scene. Like, this whole thing is just badass. What a way to like end this, is with Godzilla just being more. I mean, he's already badass, but let's make him more badass.
This is a tribute done right. If I've seen one, like, this was just.
Yeah. And after that, like, was it like things start to like fall apart and stuff, and then we see
all the Titans coming.
Well,
no, that's not yet.
The helicopter pulls away, and then Godzilla goes nuclear.
Oh yeah, he just blows up, which I thought was really cool. But then after the explosion, after the blast, it comes back to where it's like rubble, and then you see a Ghidorah head pop out, but it's actually Godzilla has one of the heads in his mouth, and he's back to his normal self, and he uses his atomic breath to pretty much shoot the atomic breath out of Ghidorah's head, which then deteriorates.
Which head it was that was in his mouth?
Kevin.
Did Kevin get screwed again? God, poor Kevin.
But okay, so you have the 2014 Kiss to Death, which was a very good scene. I think this one takes the Kiss to Death and just throws it in the trash can. Like, this is just...
the fact that he shoots his atomic breath through Ghidorah's head, and then it just disintegrates, and then it's just ash, and then he like spits the little bits of it out of his mouth.
It's the cool fact, if you look at it while he's doing it, the Ghidorah eyes even glow blue as well, like how Godzilla's does.
Yeah.
Like it's cool. Just
it's super cool. So we get, and then it goes. Dr. What's his name? The funny guy, Dr. Stanton. He goes,
yep.
Well, I'm glad he's on our side.
Yeah.
And then she said, for now.
Yep,
and
for now.
Which kind of is like ominous to what we're going to see in the next film. And then all of the Titans gather around Godzilla as he's kind of standing on a mound that's a little bit higher than everybody else to signify he is the alpha again.
They now fucking show up right after it.
It's just it's a perfect way to end, you know?
Except for the turtle.
He's
still trying. He's still getting it.
He'll make it.
He's like, this isn't fair.
He's like, I'll be there, guys. Hold on. Please wait.
Oh
my
God.
Ocean? Like, what?
Yeah.
He's just mad because he can't fly like the other turtle can. But anyway, carry on.
But so they all gather around. You see the behemoth. You see the behemoth. You see the Muto Prime. You see, and then Rodan comes in or lands in front of him and bows like he did to Ghidorah earlier, to signify that Godzilla is now the king of the Titans. He's back. He is back. And then he roars, which is always a great way to end. And then that's it. That is the end of Godzilla.
Except
But
the
wait,
end
guys. But then we get the credits, and goddamn Godzilla plays.
Blue Oyster
Blue
Cult.
Oyster Cult's Godzilla. Well, it's not by them, but it's a remake of it. But
yes,
God,
okay,
you know, it is. And fun fact, it is the first time that this song has been used in a Godzilla film.
Way fucking overdue.
And I love that song, the Blue Oyster Cult song. I love it.
But Sergey,
I like it.
I'm a big fan of that song.
Oh man. I mean, I grew up listening to that. Like, that was a song that it's always on the radio.
Is it because
yeah,
because of Sergey's influence that you don't like it, or what about it?
No, it's just so overplayed. It was like, it's Godzilla. I'm like, yeah, but it's not. Like, Blue Oyster Cult has so many better songs, and I love Godzilla, but I just don't care for the song. Not even this remake. Doesn't matter. Just the song as a whole, I don't care for.
I mean, I just enjoyed that I finally got to hear it in a it's in the credits. It's at a Godzilla movie, and it's actually a good version. I liked this version of the song. I thought it was really, really cool. I got really excited when I first heard it. First time I ever saw this movie.
Bear McCree does not make duds. All he does is produce hits, and it knocks it out of the park. Like, it's great.
Yeah. Then you see some scenery changes, which we do see Skull Island in this during the credits. We do have like some flybys of Skull Island. And then we go through the entire credits, and then we have our end credit scene, which is a town. Is it the same town as before? The Isla.
It's Isla de Mar.
Okay, so we're back there. Jonah is there. Alan Jonah is there. He's walking with a guy, and they're talking about how, like, the fishing is pretty much done because of all the dead fish and because of the gravity, or the oxygen destroyer destroyed fishing in this area. But they found something else, and what do they find is Kevin's head sitting in a freezer.
So while we're here on this note, Nemesis, because you asked about the origins and everything of, like, like the entire, like, Godzilla backline, there's a fun play here that actually kind of ties into where Godzilla was created, because as Parker mentioned, was the fishing is dead and they're no longer able to, like, everything here is pretty much dead. So the original concept of the Godzilla movies, when Castle Bravo nuclear test started to become a thing, the Lucky Number 5 Dragon boat was out there in that area when Bikini Atoll bombings were going on, and the boat actually brought back radioactive tuna back to the mainland of Japan, and that ties into the origins of the Godzilla movies and what started off the series, besides the whole bigger overtheme, but that was a big startup to producing the movie and the series. So it's a nice little fun and play. And however, I think Dan wanted to say something else.
No, you're good. Keep going.
It looked like you were like, yeah, hold on, there's still more there. So it was that nod to the, we can't fish here anymore, like, everything is dead here. It's a nice little tongue in cheek to, like, yeah, that's what originally brought the Godzilla series to life, with the dead fish, and everything here is just absolutely no longer useful. So it's a fun little, if you know, you know.
Yep.
So that brought it all together.
Yeah. So Alan Jonah pretty much says, "Yeah, I'll take it," to Kevin's head, which then foreshadows things in the future. And that is it. That is the end of Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Yeah, I mean, so pretty much we have a bunch of lists that I have not written down, but I somehow remember. First, we are going to rate main characters of the franchise. So we're talking about all four films. Well, of course, we can't rate next week's yet, but as of right now, we have the cast, pretty much the entire cast of Kong Skull Island, and then we have Ford Brody, sorry. Oh, another thing that I mentioned to Umbreon yesterday when we were watching on Discord. there was actually a radio call that the main military lady was calling one of the ships, and one of the ships was called the USS Brody, which it was. I saw it in the subtitles, and I was like, why? Why did they do that? I guess it was. I mean, it's probably just a callback to the 2014 movie, but whatever.
Why?
Yeah, exactly.
But-
Can we just
but
say that it's a
why?
reference to Jaws instead of the terrible character from the 2014 movie? Okay, cool.
Gonna need a bigger boat.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, so right now the list for that is the cast, pretty much the entire cast of Kong Skull Island, because there were so many characters, and then it was Ford Brody. Where do we rank the like I would just probably rate them all just like we did Kong Skull Island, just because there's so many characters in this. We're talking about like the protagonists here, right? Protagonist means the good guys, right? Yes. I know my words. So we're gonna rate the protagonists of this movie, and then we'll rate the bad guys in the other. You know, we have I don't even know how many of these we do. But yeah, where do we rank these out of Kong Skull Island and Godzilla 2014?
Save me for last. I'm gonna be controversial
Right.
here.
DNA Gaming, go ahead. Number 1.
Me, I do.
Okay.
No, number 2,
I think
man.
Stanton makes a really strong case for me when it comes to this cast.
Stan's good, but you don't have a memorable running
Yeah.
joke whole movie of Dear Billy.
Yeah.
You don't have.
Oh my god!
I have to agree with Dan. I have such a connect. I think I have more of a connection with the Kong characters than I do with the characters in this movie. Even though I do like most of the characters in this movie, I just like the collective cast of Kong better. I'm sorry that I should have went last, but so you're saying number 1? But you guys are split. So we got okay, so we got 1.5 for 1, and then Dan, where are you putting it? A 2? Okay. Nemesis.
I'm going Kong Skull Island. I definitely.
Okay, so you're putting it at number 2. You got to say where it's going.
Not what it. No, well, I'm saying I'm going with. If I say I'm going with Kong Skull Island, that means it's number 1.
No, I'm saying.
This number 2. I mean, 2014. That's
it's gonna be last. I feel at the end of this whole thing. Well, since Umbrian wants to go last, I'm gonna put this at number 2 as well. I like the cast of Kong. I thought they were better. I thought it was better, but I liked the cast of this movie. I liked the characters. But yeah, I just have to edge Kong, the characters of Kong, over that.
There's already 3 of you that have voted for me too.
So yeah, I still want to listen to what Umbriana say, but right now, we have our new rankings. Go ahead, Umbrian.
I rank this 3rd.
Oh,
whoa!
No. I'm shitposting. Clearly, this is number 1.
Okay.
I was like, if you're putting this below that terrible character.
I genuinely like the characters from Kong Skull Island. Don't get me wrong. However, Randa's character from Kong Skull Island was too much of a detractor for me. He personally took me out of it from the main characters. I liked Tom Hiddleston's character. There was not enough for me there, and I genuinely, Brie Larson's character could not have been in the movie. Would not have hurt my feelings whatsoever.
She was Kong's. She was that female that Kong needed to have.
She was Andaro. Still below a load, whatever.
Right.
However, to the characters that you pull into this movie, everybody is not a hitter. But I mean, you bring back Ken Sarazawa, which is a very strong character into the Monsterverse series. Yeah. You introduce Chen, you bring the Shaoyun twins, which is always a very that is a heartstring. Like that is a very good callback reference. That means a lot. You introduce the Russell family, which very dysfunctional as hell. I still love 2 out of 3. I love Mark. I love Madison. Emma could literally hop off. She could hop off a roof with no parachute. I hated her character, but I mean, like, she was genuinely designed to be that that middle of the road character that ended up having that, oh wait, hold on, surprise, this was all my idea. I wanted to bring this chaos, but did not know what I was capable of bringing upon mankind. So it's a very, very heavy detractor there. But with all of the cast here, even looking at, while the group here may not agree that this military group stands up to the Kong Skull Island group, which I get that, I understand that. I mean, the military was more of a focus in Kong Skull Island. I get that. However, a lot of the quips and one-liners from this military cast and a lot of the other outlying quips and story plots that is driven by this sequel, especially where we're going to go into next week's movie, there's not a reason I cannot put this under Kong Skull Island. I will put Kong Skull Island at a solid 2 for this week, but I think this group of characters solidifies 1, and I'm not going to confirm or deny whether I see rankings being shaken up next week, but I wholeheartedly I love this group, and it's a good dynamic as far as it goes. But that's not going to say that Kong Skull Island did not have a well group. I just have to give the solid edge to King of the Monsters.
So my take on that was good. I like that. But for my take is like for Kong Skull Island, I got more attached to the human characters and less of the monster battles. For Godzilla King of the Monsters, I wasn't not very attached to the human characters, but I enjoyed the Titan battles more.
So there was a large difference.
It's like a flip flop.
Yes, there's a large separation between the battles from the Titans and King of the Monsters to Kong Skull Island, where it almost felt like the humans almost had to drive Kong Skull Island forward as a movie in the whole. Whereas King of the Monsters was set up to be a Titan clash, and the humans were there to round it off, where it feels like almost the polar opposite of Kong Skull Island. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and throw this back to Kong Skull Island because I didn't say it last week full openly because I know how Parker felt. Samuel L. Jackson's character really just drove me off the fucking deep end, and he pisses me off to no end. Which is what he's supposed to do. You're supposed to hate him.
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about how
it
wasn't our favorite.
It's not his greatest by
100%,
far.
100%.
No, the thing is that, you know, I said the same thing. But if you really think about it, a lot of us, when we talk about that movie, what's the first thing we say? Oh, Samuel L. Jackson's character. Well, then that's obviously something that drew you in because you didn't like his character, which I think was almost what they were aiming for because it's something you talk about all the time. It's not just one person; it's multiple people talking about that one character.
And with this movie, you could do the same thing with Vera Farmiga's character, though.
Yeah.
Like he was.
I'm not denying
Jackson
that.
in this
no,
movie.
I'm not denying that at all. And I didn't like. I think the cast of Godzilla King of Monsters was good. To me personally, I didn't connect with them as much as.
No, that's more than respectable.
Yeah, and I think even with like you guys are right. Is I think with the Vera Farmiga, whatever you say her name. I think her character exactly was that point. Is that you don't like her, but you talk about her, and that's what kind of is like it draws you in. Is that
like you hate them so much that that was their intention.
It's almost like those things like when you watch a video and you hate it so much, but you keep watching because you want to know what happens next. That's exactly what these characters are. You hate Samuel L. Jackson because it was one of my least favorite characters of him ever. But I wanted to keep watching because I'm like, this movie's actually good, but his character pisses me off. I hope he dies, is what I was thinking. Anyways,
but, I mean, either way, we're outvoted here. It looks like Kong Skull Island is still going to stand on top of the list.
Unfortunately, with a 3-2 vote, number 1 is Kong Skull Island, number 2 is Godzilla King of the Monsters, and number 3, actually, we're just going to put it at number 4, is Godzilla 2014 because we know that it's going to stay there next week. But yeah, it could be a shakeup with next week's episode. Now we're going to rate the antagonist, meaning we're going to be rating the Titans and the human. So it's going to be Ghidorah. I'm going to put just Ghidorah and Jonah as the group. Well,
Well,
okay, we'll put in Emma Russell too because she was.
Let me counterbalance to piggyback off where you're going, just to counterbalance off of last week's. I feel like it's better to do because last week's was really more of just the antagonist, because you held the monsters separately.
Oh, did I?
You did the skull crawlers and you did skull crawlers.
Wrote this all down, hey.
So I mean,
so we'll just do the antagonists then. So we'll do Jonah, and I'm going to put Emma Russell in there too because she was a bad guy for pretty much the majority of this film.
Yeah, her half-ass turn at the end did not warrant enough to be like, oh, but she tried. No, fuck it. This was truly all her evil plan. It just went out of her control.
Yeah,
she's just as far in bad as what Jonah was.
What would we do for Godzilla 2014? Who was like the bad guy in that?
There really wasn't one.
The military? Yeah, they're going to be number 4. So
there's no reprieve.
Yeah, so right now it's Samuel L. Jackson at number 1. And then we have 2 and 3 is empty, and 4 is the military from Godzilla 2014. So where are we putting Alan Jonah and Emma Russell? DNA, you guys go first.
I hated both of them. Like I have to put them at 2 at least.
Okay.
So
so you think that they are just like a worse developed antagonist compared to Samuel Jackson's character?
Yeah, you didn't hardly see Jonah.
That's true. He was kind of just like there for a few seconds and he was gone.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm the bad guy. Remember, this was your idea. You called me. This was your idea. I want to tell you that a couple times about the movie. This was your idea.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah. Okay.
And what's her name?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say Emma Russell or whatever has some real questionable fucking motivation.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
So
we got two votes for number 2. So it's all up to us. It's up to us 3. If we have one more that says number 2, then that's what it's gonna be. Nemesis.
Oh crap.
Actually, while Nemesis is in thought, can I go ahead and jump ahead real quick?
Yeah, go for it. Number 3.
I really thought the military from 2014 was more of a fucking issue and had more drama than this character. I absolutely detest I detest the villainous of Emma and Jonah. Like, they offer absolutely nothing. I think they're dull. There's no it's snippets at a time. The military was at least a constant theme throughout 2014. Like, it's so fucking boring to be such a drivel part. Like, Emma's supposed to be a main character, but I mean, fuck her. I have no care for her. You could have taken her character out. You could have left it at Jonah, and I'd still feel just the same. It is dead hard last place for me, and I know I can't. Like, it's hard last place.
Nemesis?
I don't even know what to say now because
say whatever is on your mind. It's your opinion.
What's on my mind? Oh,
look in your fridge. It might be in there.
Hey, next week. Hey, you got enough letters on that fridge to like write out the movie we're reviewing?
Oh, dude. That's
I don't know if they're for your kids.
Oh man. That's funny.
I'm so bad at like the bad people because I don't know.
They were bad.
Here's the thing. Are they better than Samuel L. Jackson?
No.
Okay. Are they better than the military from Godzilla 2014?
I couldn't fucking tell you. I'm so bad about the 2014 one. Like, I'm trying to think of like.
It's okay. It was a rough movie.
It's been a while.
The military's entire purpose from the 2014 movie was just to eviscerate everything, not pick a side. It's literally fuck them, take them into the water, get rid of everything.
All right, so I know more about King of Monsters than I do 2014. So I'm gonna have to put this one probably last with Umbreon only because I had no connection. Like Samuel L. Jackson pissed me off, and I didn't really like I said from the get-go is I didn't really have a connection with any of the humans in this one, which is fine. I thought the movie was still good, but I'm also different when it comes to movies. I just had more connection with the people in Kong Skull Island, so I'm gonna have to put it last.
So we got 2 for last and 2 for number 2. So it's up to me.
Ooh, tiebreaker.
Oh
Break
my
it.
God.
Break
Why?
it. Break it.
I mean, I don't know. To be honest, I think everything about for me, the 2014 Godzilla, the thing that really kept me going through the whole movie was just Godzilla fighting the Mutos. I didn't give a shit about anybody human wise in that movie other than Serizawa and what was her name? His assistant there. That's the only 2 human characters I cared about. Other than that, I gave a shit about nobody in that movie. Like I didn't care about I just wanted to see these monsters fight because that was literally the only good writing in that movie. So I'm gonna put so I think that these 2 barely squeak it out above that because I think that the motivations are really stupid. But I'm gonna put it in since we have a number 3 slot. I was gonna say because for me number 4 is the 2014 movie. That's the military from 2014. I'm gonna put this at number 3.
But hold up.
Actually, I'm gonna put it at number 2 because technically we don't have a number 2. So it's gonna be number 2 for this week, and then next week it could change.
So how do we delve this tiebreaker? Because there's 2 for there's 2 for 2. No, my bad. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there's 3 for number 2. 3 for number 2, and then yeah. So right now the list, is Samuel Jackson from Kong Skull Island. Number 2 is Jonah and Emma Russell from Godzilla King of the Monsters, and number 4. Now we'll do it as number 3 for right now. Is the military from Godzilla 2014? The only one who gets to skip all the way down to last is that terrible Ford Brody. All right.
You want to know a weird fact though? A weird fact, real quick, is that I think if I didn't know Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things, I would have enjoyed her character more. I think I enjoy her as 11 so much that I expected
it's hard
so
to
much.
See her as something else.
Yeah, I expected so much from her, which I'm not saying she played the part like bad. I'm not saying that at all, but I just enjoy her so much as 11 that I just couldn't connect with her as much because I connect with her a lot.
That's just like Charles Dance's character because you know him from Game of Thrones so much. It's like, this is not you. I mean, you're still a villainous asshole, but
right. No, this
is not your character.
And that's what's weird about me is that there's so many movies and TV shows where I'll watch a specific show or TV show that I really love with one character, and I get to know them as that character, and then I watch them in something else. I'm not saying they play it wrong or that they're bad. I just don't appreciate it as much because I love them as the other person. And
no, I get that.
All right, so we have 2 more lists to do, or 2 more rankings to do, and then we are done. This next one is going to be we'll say the bad monsters of the Monsterverse, meaning so right now the list was it Skullcrawlers at number 1?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the Mutos at number 2. So where are we putting Ghidorah? Should we put Rodan or should we just have Ghidorah? Because Ghidorah was
put them together.
Dan has to
put
go
Ghidorah and Rodan. We'll kind of like we know the other Titans exist, but these are the 2 prominent Titans. So where are we ranking Ghidorah and Rodan compared to the Skullcrawlers and the Mutos? DNA Gaming, start us off.
1.
Of course. Holding up Ghidorah, is going to be number 1.
But now where do you put Rodan?
No,
we
they're
group
going to
them
be
together.
grouped. They're going to be grouped.
Oh, you're just going to group them together?
Yeah, because it's in one movie. They are the bad monsters of this movie. We're going by movie, not by monster.
So I that's weird to me because I think King Ghidorah is number 1, but I think Rodan's under Skullcrawlers.
Okay, listen. This is how this goes, okay? We're ranking them based on movies. Okay, we're not going to do this whole,
He said, fuck your opinion.
We're basing them off of the movies.
Do you have anything else?
Okay. Well, if we go off his poster's pretty badass, so I guess. So I guess I can stay number 1.
Well, I'm going to go with him. Obviously, I'm going to say number 1. And this is my second favorite design of Rodan outside of the original 56 version. But yeah, number 1.
Umbreon. I mean, there's already 3 votes, but let's just have. I mean, you're also wearing a Ghidorah shirt, so of course. I mean, listen, it's number 1 for me too. Ghidorah is badass. Rodan is badass. This movie was fun as hell. I love these characters. Number 1. You're putting it in number 2? Oh, under the skull crawlers? Okay. No future spoilers. It's number 1 right now.
My list does not reflect your list.
Well,
I genuinely appreciate.
This is my show, so this is my list. So
higher list than yes, number 1. I genuinely appreciated the Muto, but that's a different story.
Listen, I enjoyed them too. Okay, but right now the final.
But in these series, no, literally, Ghidorah is Godzilla's over series.
Yeah,
Ghidorah is Godzilla's strongest damn enemy.
Yeah,
over time.
100%.
There's no way you don't put him number 1. Next week might be a different situation, but as of Ghidorah and Rodan, it's almost a runaway number 1 at this point. Next week pending. It's remotely not for discussion.
All right, so our list after this week is number 1 Ghidorah and Rodan, number 2 is the Skullcrawlers, and number 3 is the Mutos. But that could all change next week with Godzilla vs. Kong. But our final ranking is the film itself. Right now, the ranking goes Kong Skull Island at number 1 and Godzilla 2014 at number 2. Where are we putting Godzilla King of the Monsters?
Why is 2014 in number 2? He's just automatically put it at number 4.
Just as it was. I mean, it had to be number 2.
Yeah.
Plus,
we only reviewed 2 movies.
Maybe everybody might not like, this movie or Kong vs. Godzilla. There is potential.
Come on, Nemesis. Figure out how we do rankings, okay?
Well, I ranked it premature.
Okay, when it comes to Ford Brody, he deserves to automatically be at number 4. That's the only one that deserves to just jump down to the bottom, okay? But let's do this. DNA Gaming, start us off. Where are you putting this?
On you.
Oh, gosh, I don't know.
Do you need a minute?
Yeah, I need a minute.
I can bullshit some stuff for a while. Okay.
Do it.
Number 2.
And
it's a number 2 for a very specific reason. Is while as much as I love this movie for the references, the music, the sound, and everything else, and I adore it for that. But I think from an enjoyability standpoint, I still enjoy Kong Skull Island a little bit better. It's coming from a hardcore Godzilla fan.
Literally the same. I feel exactly the same. This movie is fun as hell. I'm nowhere near you guys when it comes to lore and all that stuff, but I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I love the monster or the Titans and all that stuff, but I don't know. Kong was just, it felt different for me. Like from front to back, that movie just was enjoyable. There was some lull moments in Godzilla King of the Monsters where for me, I'm going to put it at number 2 as well.
Do you have a comment?
You
rank the movie.
Are you still thinking? All right, Nemesis, while she's still thinking it over, what are you thinking?
I'm torn.
All right, so I definitely I'm gonna put it number 2, but I'm gonna explain why. So
we just totally bummed out Umbreon.
Yeah, well,
it takes me out of the race and no longer even have a second year.
So Kong, I think I had more of connection with Kong growing up than I did Godzilla, so I think that had a part of it. But also, I did appreciate this. I didn't appreciate their name, but I appreciate the design of the skull crawlers and everything. I just had a real big connection with the humans, the characters, and everything in Kong Skull Island. But also, Dan is a big part of. I had more appreciation when he told me about one of the movies that you told me about, where they took the design of when Kong was falling down and the thing was crawling up after him or something like that.
It was the skull crawler.
Yeah, skull crawler
going over the bridge and the thing was climbing up the vine trying to get to the guy on the other side of the bridge. Yeah,
that's really
so knowing about that, like it was really cool to think. Like, I actually rewatched it after that, and it was really cool to think about. And, I don't know. I think I've had more of a connection towards Kong, even the Jack Black one. Like, I grew up watching more Kong things than I did Godzilla, so it was easier to connect with it. And so for me, I'd have to put the Godzilla movie at number 2.
I mean, you could still give your reasoning why you're not putting it that you're going to put it at number 1, Umbreon. We still want to hear it.
Who's the best form?
Yeah.
Yes, the fuck you are. So, I mean, if you want my honest full breakdown, said I went into Kong Skull Island when I went to watch it in theaters with low regards. I did not like the Peter Jackson movie. It left a very sour taste in my mouth. The OG King Kong, and I believe it was the second King Kong movie. Those were the only King Kong movies I liked, but I did not hold them into a regard as I do Godzilla. I mean, I literally have numerous Godzilla tattoos. So clearly, my allegiance is formed, but I'm taking my personal love and I'm taking everything out of the form. The monsters base alone. I mean, you literally bring 4 of the 7 biggest monsters in the Godzilla movies. Like, you're bringing Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, King Ghidorah. You are bringing a all-star buffet of kaiju to the table. You took a risk on Kong Skull Island with, clearly you have Kong, but you know, OCs can be very, very flip-flop, even though there was a reference to previously, but also, you know, look at how well the Muto really did for 2014. You know, OCs can be very much a flip of a coin, whether it's going to work or not. You bring a star-studded cast; they deliver well. I thoroughly enjoyed the characters from King of the Monsters more than I did with Kong Skull Island. They're both great in their separate regards in what they bring to the table. At the end of the day, I've got to lay down and say I thoroughly enjoyed King of the Monsters the most. And this is also knowing that I went through a drought of 2014 to 2019, itching, scratching, and like, come on, man. I need this movie. I need my fix, man.
It's crazy that was 5 years between Godzilla and Godzilla King of the Monsters.
That's not the bad part. The last Toho movie we had gotten before the Monsterverse was 2004 Godzilla Final Wars. We did not receive another Godzilla movie until 2014. We went a whole literal decade of radio silence, no nothing. It was that whole, come on, man, I need my fix. I've made some of my known issues made with this movie. However, like I said, I mentioned at the somewhat beginning of this podcast, I have a lot more of negative things that I want to tear into this movie. I think my biggest detractor was the whole when King Ghidorah lifted Godzilla into space and dropped him on Boston. He dropped him from space. He literally he became a meteor. That is a megaton meteor drifting into Boston. That's not just a small crater. That is Avengers Rise of Ultron on a larger magnitude. That is wiping out majority of the East Coast. That's not just he just lands back.
Just where he lands. It's like
we're taking out almost the entire East Coast magnitude of a meteor that scale.
Yeah.
So I mean, like that's a very bad detractor there. But looking at the characters, the action, the runtime, and just the thrill going through, I can't place Kong Skull Island above this, but I will put Kong Skull Island at 2 above the abomination of what was 2014. And I don't see 2014 moving up in the rankings next. Like,
well,
I mean,
listen, that's the thing about this is we all got our own opinions. I think we all probably have our own lists on what movie is better than the other. Like I said, like this is a very enjoyable movie. I had a lot of fun with it. It's a blast. Just as the same. I literally everything Dan said is exactly how I felt about Kong. I just felt more like it just from front to back. That movie just kept me going the whole time.
Yeah,
Did you pick yet?
No.
No.
She's still picking her nose though.
I am not. No. I mean, it doesn't matter. I would have to put it at 1 just because I love Ghidorah. Always have, always will. The cinematography was spot on.
I think the cinematography in all of these films are fantastic.
Not 2014.
Yes, I still will give 2014.
We'll just
2014 had good visuals,
but
and sound. That was it.
It was so dark. It was almost always at nighttime.
Yeah.
No, don't mind me. It's something unrelated.
No, I'm not done.
Yeah,
no.
we actually got daytime shots in King of the Monsters, which is something that we really all. It's something we all were like, hey, we appreciate what you did, but I mean, all of your monster shots and fights were like all at nighttime. It was nice to have that broken up and have somewhat of daytime shots and some type of daytime interactions. Like, it was a nice breath of fresh air.
Yeah. Did you have more?
And just the little nuances here and there that they put in. Like, I don't know. I came into the Godzilla game later, but he's like schooled me on
Listen, you don't
most
want to know when me and
everything.
Nemesis went into the Godzilla game. It's not pretty.
Well, it's been since we've been married, or got together, so 15 years ago. That's when I got into the game.
You don't want to know the first Godzilla movie me and Nemesis watched when we were kids.
If you say 19, I swear to God, I will back.
Unfortunately, that was it, dude. I just nothing else I could tell you.
I will tell you right now
was Godzilla. I mean, I knew of Godzilla, but Godzilla of 98 was what I was introduced, knowing it wasn't the legit Godzilla.
I am so sorry that was your introductory point.
It should have just been called the Large Lizard.
They named it Godzilla. We've talked about this. They named it Godzilla because of the name. They called it Godzilla because of the name recognition. It would have got people to the theaters to see the movie. Had nothing to do with any of the lore and anything that's connected to the Toho Godzilla.
And this is where Dan backs me up. This is why we refer to that one as Gino.
Yep.
Godzilla in name only.
Yep.
I mean, that's what it is. It's 100% what it is.
It's piss poor.
They
couldn't make anything else.
Yeah. So we are at the 3-hour mark, which means this is the longest podcast we've done so far it's the third episode. But so I figured, with our vote being 3-2, the new rankings for the Monsterverse is number 1, Kong Skull Island, number 2, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and number 3, Godzilla 2014. Next week is the finale of the Monsterverse, meaning we are going to be doing Godzilla versus Kong. Now, I usually show the movie on Discord on Saturdays before we do the podcast. Unfortunately, because Godzilla versus Kong is going off of HBO Max on Friday, I am going to be showing it on the Discord probably Thursday night around 11 p.m. Eastern time. I know it's late, but because of my work schedule, that's what I have to do. So if you got anybody here is interested in watching Godzilla vs. Kong, you haven't seen it yet, or you just want to watch it again, I will be throwing it up on the Discord on Thursday, 11 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm going to be watching it again because I've only seen it the day it came out, so I got to refresh myself on the little things, But yeah, I'm excited to talk about this movie because Kong's back for one, and like I said, I love Kong, I love Godzilla, and they get to fight in this movie. So, but thank you all for being here. Umbreon, thank you for coming in, and looking forward to having you back next week.
said I look forward to being a stable here as long as you're willing to tolerate me. I absolutely enjoy this. So it's my honor. It's my blessing to be with a well group of people.
And DNA, thank you so much for coming out again. And I'm looking forward to having you guys back for the finale of the Monsterverse.
Aradella, all I request is that you make great notes like that again.
Okay. I'll add sound effects too.
Yeah.
I couldn't not look at that. And I was like trying so hard. I was like, I'm going to click on this and I'm not going to laugh. And then
that's the thing is you got to have somebody who's super knowledgeable about the films to kind of keep me on course for the plot, because I could literally watch the movie 5 minutes before we do this podcast and I still forget things. So
I know I'm looking at my notes. I'm like, wait, what did this mean?
So next week, chat, we are doing Godzilla vs. Kong review. It's full of spoilers. Remember, this podcast is full of spoilers. So if you have not seen the movie and you want to see the movie, like I said, we're doing the Discord movie night on Thursday, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Or, if you have HBO Max, I recommend watching it. It is off HBO Max on Friday, April 30th. So make sure you catch it before it's gone. But yeah, we'll be back here Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time to do that. And then, chat, after that, we're doing the Jaws movies, which I am super pumped about. So looking forward to that.
I'm right here with you. That's going to be fun breaking that apart.
It's going to be great. But yes, thank you everybody for hanging out. DNA and Umbreon, thank you for being here. Nemesis, I mean, you're here every week. You're going to be here every week.
Aw.
But thanks anyways.
Who's Nemesis?
I'll use your real name. I don't care. I'll use your government name. We'll call you Parker 2.
No, that's horrible. Call me Nemesis. That's
Parker squared.
Hey, Parker. Hey, Parker 2. What?
Parker Jr.
I've heard you call him by his real name before.
I have.
What's my real name?
I don't remember what it is, but I've heard him call you by it. I was like, who's he talking about?
All right.
Well,
have a great night, everybody.
For now.
Thank you so much.
We'll
see you next week. Bye.
Bye.